A smooth transition. When last we
Elwit
left
said,
our
well,
hero.
ain't this a big old bitch?
I knew it was gonna happen. It's just a question of was it gonna be Snortles or was it gonna be Salty? That was the only question I had. When last we left our heroes, our 7 wandering adventurers have just kind of attempted to find Allfield on their way to Cape Solomon. They're just going north. You guys are looking for a mystery answer to your sigils that you've been branded with a long time ago that seem to attract dark forces. Along the way, you've met up with a few other roving adventurers yourselves and found a town in need which you've decided to help. You've set some ambushes, you've trained a local militia, and you've gone and ambushed a nearby bandit camp which seems to be of a rather occult nature, and in the process, a few people have perished. But you have emerged victorious. The 7 of you stand in a large depression in the ground, a sinkhole, it kind of is the way that's shaped. In the outer ravines of this area. You have just finished fighting a few foes. A few of the militiamen are finishing off what remains of the bandits. A few of the bandits have surrendered and have fled with what horses they could grab. And the black figure with the horned helmet and the dark crescent axe has used Thunderous Step to teleport away. And by just the virtue of kind of where we left off last time, this session is going to be a little bit more RP focused as we kind of clean up the loose ends of what happened last time and people kind of work their way forward. So I'm going to pick up exactly where I left off. Umber, everyone's a little singed and burned, but everyone is alive. Fortunately, Moya kind of like takes a few steps back and she seems dazed, but she shakes her head and she's fine again. Ray is a little bit kind of like, He kind of breathes a sigh, but he seems to be kind of resistant to fire damage anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, but he kind of goes about just picking through the remaining wreckage of what's left. Basically, he's scrounging. He's looting. Ray is the first to loot, the last to leave. And yeah, you guys are free to do the same. You guys, the scene is yours. Several militiamen are. You see a few people who are still kind of like just jamming spears down into some of these undead creature versions of the bandits. While other few are kind of injured and being sought to, there's a few people who have died. A cursory glance will note that the elderly farmer Alfield that you, I'm not Alfield, sorry, Alfred that you had summoned before to try and get their attention. The elderly gent himself has perished. His sons and his daughters are kind of around him, giving him a farewell. But a few other people have passed away as well. Passed away. They were killed. This was a fight. They have died in a battle, unfortunately. But through your efforts, most of the militia are actually still quite fine and dandy.
And Gareth is taking, like this kind of lull to kind of corral and almost like, lead kind of, after action kind of cleanup duties almost. Like he gets Quill to go follow Ray pretty closely to make sure, he just doesn't pocket whatever he finds, right?
Ray would never do that.
I know he wouldn't.
Such an honest man.
That's funny.
Has Miyamoto with him for once the human soldiers, those human brigands, what are we calling them?
Bandits, I guess.
Bandits, brigands.
Sure, both. I like brigands.
Brigands, yeah. To like take care of like anyone who didn't flee, to disarm them and kind of corral them into a place where we can all see. But also helping move wounded and kind of move stuff around. He's basically like like big old kind of like, you go over there, you follow me.
Sure.
Like,
why don't you roll a percentile die for me real quick? Because I need to figure something out. Most of the brigands have, if they were capable, they have fled. I'm wondering if there's any still left alive. I don't think there's any left alive, unfortunately. Okay. The few that were like, unfortunately, they are militiamen, and maybe they'll carry this kind of weight with them to their own graves. But like the one or two that were like, they put down their weapons and raised their hands, the scared townsfolk just immediately ran through with spears, out of fear, unfortunately. But I don't think anybody is left alive. Yes, I mean, there might have been like a handful, maybe like a dozen that have just like, they've taken whatever horses were still available to them that haven't just run. Like, there's probably like 50 horses just out on the prairie right now. But there's also probably a dozen brigands out there too that just have fled this battle essentially. But
So, yeah, so
this
that's
place is
what
decimated.
Gareth is doing, unless if any NPC or player
Sure.
character kind of.
Quill's gonna go and sit down. Miyamoto will kind of like go around and just goes like, "Yes, we have been victorious. We must rejoice. Hail all around!" And he'll walk around and make sure everyone is kind of doing okay himself. And he also watches Ray to make sure he doesn't steal anything. But Ray is clearly pocketing a few things every now and then, just nothing of incredible value. Mostly just stuff that he finds, like a dagger. Oh, nice. And he throws it in his pocket. And then Quill just goes to sit down. He's horribly wounded. I think he had like 7 HP by the end of this fight.
I'm pretty sure Quill went down, but somebody healed him or something.
Yeah, like he saw the pearly white gates, and then Azarine brought him back from the grave. So he's kind of like, I'm just gonna go sit over there if you don't mind. And he just sits down on one of the remaining timbers that have fallen from the stables. And he kind of puts his arm up, starts tying he's wearing his jacket with like the one arm not through the sleeve. He's just trying to make like a sling essentially for himself.
I'm gonna assist the best I can, because that's all I can do.
All right. I'm going to go in just a general order from left to right and kind of ask what everybody's doing. Gareth already kind of told me what he's doing because he's good like that, and Azarine kind of
if I can
mentioned.
help any way that I can, I guess Gareth would, like, if he sees that, Azarine's kind of just looking for something to do, like, he would direct her as well. I mean, she doesn't have to follow it, but she's like, Azarine, if you could help the clergy with healing the wounded, that would be beneficial.
I'll do what I can, although I'm running low on spell slots, but that's okay.
I found out that the last spell slot she had was to heal Quill on the very end of that fight, actually.
Oh yeah, I don't have any spell slots, actually.
I do. Valerie raised their hand.
Just to assist, like...
Oh yeah, we can roll medicine checks. Azarine, why don't you make a medicine check for me?
I'm gonna be bad at this.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not wise. 12 average. It's
That's
fine.
not bad. The people,
Better than a kick in the ass.
The vicar and her like Sunday school essentially are like the only kind of medics that are really available, and they're help stabilizing as many people as they can. Most of it's like either they died or they received superficial wounds. Like there really wasn't any in between with some of these militia people, just because they don't have like armor and stuff. But yeah, you patch up for a lot of the people that are around and do a pretty good job of it. You beat a 10. 10 is usually like the average person would have 50-50 chance, and you're above average with a 12.
Yay!
Valerie, what are you doing?
Since I have some spell slots, I will get up, dust my knees off, and look around to whoever might need help.
All right. Well, why don't you do a general investigation? Well, I'll give you some options. You don't have to roll investigation. Some people are picking through the wreckage of like the stables to see if they can find some more horses. Some people are looking
Can I make
through.
a perception?
I would just like to point out that I have 1 HP left.
Incredible.
Same.
Absolutely incredible. You can help them find horses.
Alerted.
Some of them are going through like the crates of loot to see if they can recover stuff like for the town, like either food or like other things that have been taken. Like there's a brigand camp, so there's a lot of stuff here that's loot. So
is that an investigation?
Yeah, to loot is an investigation. To find horses would be a perception and animal handling.
Okay, well, first thing I'm going to do is walk over to my good pal Brookehild.
Thanks.
Valerie walks over and pats her on the back with her hand glowing a green.
Brugeld was just writhing on the floor. She got carved up this fucking fight. Not to mention that she got kicked in the face by a horse.
And an investigation. You can never
she
find
does take the time to check her eyebrows the moment that the pain in the rest of her body is gone.
Okay. While Brookhild's kind of like back up and kind of like trying to like fix her eyebrows, and that's sort of like everything's fine sort of way. Valerie walks around and kind of like starts poking through some of the things herself. She finds like a few things that are like clearly crates and sacks of like wheat and other like carrots, potatoes, things that have been kind of like stolen and used to feed everyone, and has clearly been taken. So you're helping recover a lot of that. You also find at the very base of several large barrels that are kind of like stuffed with like there's swords, like there's weapons around here as well. They're not good swords and weapons, but they're swords and weapons. But at the bottom of one, you actually see a small shining like jeweled, like some kind of like it looks like a brooch or something like that, a pin of some kind.
Oh, I'll reach in and grab it.
Okay, you pull it out. It's about the size of your palm. It is emblazoned. It's like a jewel, a red jewel. Looks like it's maybe ruby, but it looks a little bit more orange, maybe a mixture of ruby and amber somehow, just kind of the way it looks. Probably neither in terms of material. Set in a dull green metal, and it's shaped like a flame. It's a small like sigil of a flame.
Oh, can I inspect it for like anything special that it might do?
I'll let you roll either a history check or an arcana check, and you might get some kind of limited knowledge. But if you have like detect magic, or if you had like the spell identify or something, then that might be more appropriate for the situation.
I'm gonna walk over to Brookhild. Hey, Brookhild. Sorry to bother you, but do you happen to have any way to detect if this has any magical essence to it?
She looks up from whining and mourning her brand new outfit that just got singed to hell and back, and she extends a hand. She's like, "Yeah, sure. Let me have a look at it."
She hands it to her.
I assume this is the same kind of charm that she herself has found last session, which was a 4-leafed clover.
Oh, interesting. I forgot about that. Yes, it immediately gives off a similar kind of holy air to it. Something that's a mixture of conjuration and transmutation. But ultimately, it's a holy magic that kind of emanates from this in the sense of like a for protective.
I couldn't quite tell you what it is, but it's some sort of holy magic. I'm sure if you spend some time with it, you could figure it out.
I hope so. That was
I
my
have a one
plan.
like that
Thank
myself, she says, and she shows the 4-leaf clover charm.
you. Oh,
Almost looks like
well,
the same make.
perhaps we'd be able to help each other in our downtime.
Aye, for sure. Should have a nap first.
Ditto. She goes back to like sitting down, and she pockets the amulet.
Sure. One more thing. On the back of that little fire brooch, it has a maker's sigil on the back as well. When you turn it over and look over and scrape some of the dirt off, it actually says Tobias Ironworks.
Do I know
will
that?
remember that.
Would Brookhill know that? Roll on a history check for me.
History.
Oh, what's that number? Is that a 20 that I see? Ooh, baby. Yeah, you're familiar with them. They're actually a famed dwarven family of smiths from the northern side of Winter.
They make pretty shiny things, so she knows.
Oh yeah. Well, they're more like pretty shiny, like weapons and like ships and stuff like that. But they delve into jewelry when it's something like
Yeah, it's
robust.
pretty, it's shiny, it's dwarvish.
Oh yeah, it's very dwarvish.
I know these folks.
You do?
Well, not personally, but well-known name.
Ah, they're a business.
Dwarvish, of course. Hence, done a lot of business with them.
Understandable.
Is mine the same?
You turn yours over and no, it doesn't have any kind of maker's
No.
mark on the back of it or anything. It's a different design, different kind of shape, and different metals.
Oh, well, I was wrong. Don't know what this is from.
Next time we're near any settlements that happen to be a large part dwarvish, I'll look for the name.
I'll help you. I'm curious myself.
Yeah, it's definitely strange looking. She dangles it in front of her face.
Maybe so. She's looking at her own the 4-leaf clovers. Well, tell me what you figured out, and I'll tell you what I find.
Sounds like a plan.
Brookhill, what would you like to do in this moment? Everyone's kind of picking through and kind of counting their dead, and unfortunately, there's a few people, but everyone else is kind of getting on with it for the most part. Carts are already being loaded up, that with like the wheat and other casks and barrels of things that have been taken and stolen. People are kind of disassembling the tents and even taking some of the wood.
No, I mean, I really don't feel like she'd be doing anything, really. I'd feel like she'd just sit there and whine about, being injured. How dare.
Well, that's fine. I mean, also you don't need to assist.
She's not a very helpful person.
But were there any NPCs that you wanted to talk with or anything? Maybe not yet. I'm not going to force you.
No. She's not a very helpful person, but
Sure.
she's also not used to, well, I think this is her first proper battlefield, so
I guess she could just be watching Gareth, like, literally, like, commanding shit, like...
she's just looking
like,
around,
coming
being
your
like,
way.
well, that's because she's been in battles, like, with the rest of the group, but it was more like the gang kills a few bandits or whatever the hell, not like, watching people, like, watching civilians lose their family and shit. Like, so I guess she's just more looking around, just a little bit shooketh.
Understandable.
Not quite sure what to do, honestly. Though, if anyone comes up to her, like Valerie did, she would probably snap out of her
Sure.
observations.
If now and then, some people kind of go through and actually will approach you and thank you.
Don't worry about it. It's thanks. She doesn't know what to do.
Uncomfortable. Gratitude. What?
It's like, I didn't want to be here. I'm not gonna pretend that like I did this like for morality or whatever. I'm just like, she got dragged along for this. She's not doing this because she's a good person yet.
So she says.
So she says.
Gareth, are you satisfied with all you were accomplishing?
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to do anything special, but I mean, like, I'm saying, like, what he would do right in this moment
that's fine.
is like, kind of lead this sort of thing, because he's like the only trained soldier, I guess, other than Miyamoto, right? But Miyamoto, he's doing Miyamoto things right now.
He's doing a great deal of Miyamoto things right now. Yeah. That's fine. This is so you're good. Like, this is also your turn opportunity to be like, oh, I wanted to talk to blank, or I wanted to do this thing before we left.
No, like he is 100% business right now. Like,
Sure.
Like, if I want to talk to someone, we can do it after everything else is settled.
All right. Umber, how you doing?
I mean, if anyone comes to him, though, he'll talk to them.
Sure. I understand. You're open. You're free. Romantically available. Sexually, even.
Incorrect, but continue.
All right. Umber, how you doing? Umber, you are astride a horse.
Yeah. She probably got off her horse and is at 1 HP, so very shaky. But she's probably going around and, mourning the loss of some of her people and helping out with, setting up burials and talking to the relatives and all that stuff.
Sure, I mean, Moya is there, and she's kind of also directing everything to the best of her abilities, and she kind of comes over and pats you on the shoulder and goes, "You did well. I wanted to apologize. It seems you were right."
I appreciate that. I just wish it had gone better. And she looks at the dead.
She says a prayer for them herself and turns back to you. They were aware of the risks. They were, I hope, proud to have helped us reclaim our village and protect those still living.
Umber nods. Have you considered maybe making this a permanent thing?
What a permanent thing?
A militia.
I've considered it. We had no reason for it before, but I am seeing the virtues.
Perhaps we should talk about this later.
Very well. We will be packing up and leaving soon. Tell your new friends to make sure they've finished everything here.
Sure.
Umber, do you have anything else you'd like to do?
I mean, I tell the rest of the people.
All right.
We're headed back soon.
Everybody hears that at some point or another. Azarine, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I do want to check the ground just to see if I can see anything of note
Sure.
for myself, but
Why don't you roll an investigation for me?
alright. Investigation. Boop. 11.
Okay, an 11 investigation. You're kind of picking through the wreckage of this place. There's a fire kind of like cooked through some of the stables, and some of the tents have also kind of been set alight as well. But you kind of press your hands through some of the remaining ash and kind of poke through, trying to assist other people kind of like find whatever they could recover as well for the town. And you do find a couple of things amongst the back section of the tent. It looks like they were on like maybe a bookshelf that has been burned and they have survived. Amongst some shattered glass and boiled glass, you can see that there's actually 2 vials of some kind of substances that are actually still intact. One appears to be a standard potion of healing. The other looks to be of a similar nature, and it's kept in the same container, but it's blue instead.
Ooh. Yoink. So I have a potion of healing. Yeah, so now I have 2 potions of healing and a vial of blue liquid.
Yeah, potion of blue, a classic.
It's like it
Blue
gets
drink.
Gatorade. It just tastes like blue.
Gives you the power of an athlete operating at 120% horsepower.
And I have a horse.
Oh, there is a horse in the background. Let's
The horse that I rode on.
Is it
My
still
horse.
her best friend?
We'll
I bet it
see.
was Umber's best friend.
Umber has the best friendest horse that ever did friend, but Umber's actually going to roll an animal handling check as the hour kind of comes to a close, and the potion of animal friendship is going to end. And these horses are not actually your horses, so why don't we roll a bad boy on that one?
It could be.
It could be. We'll see. Maybe you're really good with this horse.
I'm staying away.
When you try to get back on the horse, it seems to be kind of like it moves out of the way. It fights you. It kind of turns, and when you try to get one foot up on the stirrup, it kind of starts to not buck and kick, but it does kind of like jump around a little bit too much to kind of like safely get on, and you have to step off right now. Maybe in the future you could try and master this horse, but right now
We'll just take her by the reins and just lead her back.
Yeah, some of the other town folks have collected like a dozen or so horses
Like a
as well.
rope.
They're
Yeah.
actually planning on releasing most of these horses because they don't have a way to feed them. They don't have the grain, unfortunately. So they're going to take those dozen horses, bring them back to town, and then kind of unbridle them and send them out into the wilds. But maybe a few could be kept. Probably one at least for Umber. Maybe that's the same one.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, Miyamoto is going around. He's like picking up stuff, and he's like, "Oh, okay. Oh my, some ale! Wonderful, wonderful." Miyamoto has pocketed that, and Ray has pocketed just a few kind of odds and ends. He has like a candelabra that he like thinks he might be able to sell. Like it's just stuff like that. Like there's no like great stores of gold or anything like that. Not at least that you guys can find. It seems like they were stealing mostly resources and people more than they were worried about gold and money. But hey, maybe you can sell those charms.
Or not.
Or not.
Or keep them.
Or keep. If you guys wanted to, if you were to have a magical object in your possession, remember that it would, if you spend an hour attuning to it over the course of a short rest, its powers would be mostly revealed to yours, though some things that are powerful artifacts might have some hidden abilities that need to be unlocked later, or require like an advanced level identify spell or something like that. But surely you don't have anything magical in your possession currently that requires attunement.
I mean, we do.
Surely that'd be most crazy. Yeah, are you guys good to go? Quill's kind of like he stands up at this point and he kind of like he's got his little half-made sling together. Azrine's probably come over and helped him, kind of like patching him up a little bit. He has a bandage over his left cheek.
Wrapped his arm up.
Rubbed his arm up. He thanks you.
tightly.
He actually takes out his notebook and he actually then starts approaching some of the people and asking them questions as well. The same notebook that he interviewed Azrine with earlier about what happened to Allfield. The answer is it was buried in a sandstorm, a freak sandstorm that never happens around here.
Before we leave, I want to go have a peek at the Hell statue.
Sure, you can go. You take a peek. You look over at it. It's been crushed and destroyed. It's kind of collapsed under its own weight. Some of it's been broken. The eye that was like a waxing moon is like split down the middle just by cracked rock.
Can I detect magic poke it?
You use detect magic, and there is no magical energy being given off by this rock.
Dead.
It is completely fucked. Okay, I'm just making sure.
You, I think you detected magic earlier on it, and you definitely were able to sense something back then. But yeah, it seems like whatever magical ethereal presence this
Right,
totem
but I was
once
thinking,
had has been.
maybe there was like, I don't know, a gemstone or some sort powering it. Just making
I
sure
understand.
everything's.
It's good to cover your bases.
'Cause
It is
We'd be fucked if we just like went back and then the statue was just like, you know what, undead back again. Like
right back
enough.
in again. Whatever kind of mystical magical presence that was kind of in the biggest form of magical mystical presence in this area was actually the dude.
All right, that
But
makes sense. Who is also gone?
he is gone. You have found no sign of him.
Okay. Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I think I'm done then.
Okay. I think everybody's done, question mark. They'll stop me if they're not. You guys get back onto various carts that look like they've been used by the brigands themselves to kind of like perform
Oh, I still
various...
have to. Do I have to roll an animal handling for this horse, or?
No, because once Umber's lost control of that main horse, it doesn't. The next horse is automatically just sort of like, well, if he's not listening, if that horse are that the leader, the front of the matriarch of the pack is not like obeying Umber anymore, then I'm not going to obey Azarine. So Umber's 7, unfortunately. You have to kind of just guide the horse back by the reins. But everyone injured get up on the carts alongside like the wagons and stuff like that. They brought horses with them, but some of the horses they've been able to coax.
As far away from any single horse as possible.
Umber's horse like narrows its eyes at Brookehild.
She's had the worst luck ever with like all animals.
First was the plague donkey. And this next one was a critical failure animal handling check, and so it bucked.
Don't talk about it, but I still have a rat on me.
What?
A small field
The
mouse
mouse.
jumps out of your hood and onto your shoulder to breathe some deep air.
This mouse has seen some
Valerie
shit.
doesn't
it's
pay
covered
any
in
mind
blood.
anymore.
Did the mouse
like,
look at the moon?
it always, yeah, it looked at the moon as well.
Absolutely. Whatever.
It just hangs out in her hood all the time, and she doesn't actually pay it any mind anymore.
You just absent-mindedly hold the sandwich a little too close to your neck, and it just like will nibble like out from under your hair, and then like duck back underneath. And that's how it's been forming. That's its sustenance for the past few weeks.
That hood is its home now.
Parasitic relationships.
It's a fucking remora. But yeah, everyone kind of gets back on their carts and wagons and starts heading back towards New Haven. And I'm not going to make the journey too difficult. There's no need to roll. Everyone knows the way. There's tracks that kind of go back and forth. Eventually, you get to a point where the grass starts to grow again, and everything's more lush prairie and field. And then it gets into a more forested area. And then on the kind of the higher up rocks where everything is more flat and a little bit craggy, but there's still like greenery that grows out of it, and there's still fields that need tending to, is the town of New Haven. And people head back to their daily, nightly routines. For the most part, they're doing their best, but it's a little bit difficult to kind of recover. There's some people waiting with loved ones back at home that were kind of just either too sick and feeble or just weak to kind of join in this merry adventure. And you get a nice big glimpse of a large donkey carrying a big wagon in the back of the town with a furnace on it and several other blacksmith's tools and weapons and this, that, and the other thing. And there's 2 dwarves, bare-faced, baby-faced dwarves that are kind of loading everything onto that. And they see you all coming back. And then they kind of look at each other and just go, Oh, we thought that was tomorrow.
Are you kidding me?
Well,
Don't waste time on them, Valerie. It's not worth it.
All right, Robert. I guess unpack
know.
it. I guess they got it. I guess they did it. They got no reason to. All right, well, whatever.
Cowards.
But Valerie doesn't plan to do anything, but she just like looks at them and like rests the palm of her hand on the pommel of her rapier.
Roll intimidation check. Because they don't necessarily know that you're gonna do nothing. Like they look at you warily, and they go about their business of re-unpacking their tools and equipment. Yeah, everyone kind of disperses.
Slowly moves Valerie's hand off her rapier.
I want to call them cowards in Dwarvish.
Oof. Oof.
Oh.
They look offended and they just go, survivors is what we like to call ourselves.
I don't know what they're saying.
Nothing important.
This point, Azrain is just
Nothing
like
smart.
pulling away Valerie's arm from her sword, and she just like pats Azrain on the shoulder and walks past.
Oh, come, my friends. We've done great many things to this day. We must celebrate, Miyamoto says. The samurai swordsman from the southern seas.
Never a dull moment with you, is there?
I like to live life to the fullest. Every moment is the present and should be cherished.
Is there anything else that we need to do before we celebrate?
I believe I need to pay you.
Oh, right, the
Oh,
payment.
that's why I came along. Oh, I get it now. I remember.
We're getting paid?
You know,
I-
after the Nova, I think I just kind of forgot why I was here.
It happens. I already gave Gareth a third of it, so now I can give you the other 2/3.
Wait,
Excuse
what?
me?
Yeah, he asked for payment up front.
I would like to glare at Gareth.
Garrett's not part of this conversation. He's still directing some other townspeople. He's far from this conversation.
He never brought that to our attention.
I'm gonna
Such-
glare anyways.
Yeah, that's fair.
Such a
Umber kind of
goddamn-
scratches her head, but she just goes, "Oh well, I'm sure if you ask him, he'll tell you about it." But anyways,
Such a
I should give you guys
goddamn
the other.
So for the remaining party members, if you're going to split it evenly, you all get 222 gold points each. Gold points. That's what they're called now. Gold points.
Gold points.
Gold
Right,
points.
right, because they're XP. It's like XP points, but it's
Yeah.
gold.
It's gold. It's gold point.
Alright.
Gold points.
I
So
need my calculator.
You
So we get 222 each.
yes.
Okay.
If you're splitting the remainder even. Gareth has a little bit more, but not that much more. Only like an extra 100 or something. And
Because
he-
he's a
and he leveled
bitch.
Alright, I
Well-
see how it is.
Out of character, everyone was cool with it. In character, y'all
No,
can
yeah.
hate him all you like.
Yeah.
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 Oh, we're gonna give him shit about it. You think Brookhill is gonna pass up an opportunity to give Gareth shit about anything?
Yeah, well.
Miyamoto's like, I had to eat. I was very thankful that he actually got the money to pay me ahead of time. Boats
What?
are
Oh, yeah,
expensive.
Miyamoto knows about it.
What?
That's right.
What? Explain yourself.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
You're not saying that to Gary. You're saying that to
No, I'm saying that to Miyamoto.
Oh, to
like-
Miyamoto?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, friend Gareth, he came to me in quietude to ask for some training. But I am unfortunate to say my skills do not come cheap.
He paid you with the brigand money?
With gold, yes. I'm afraid that
So much-
boats are expensive.
I'm not.
So
I'm
much
not
for
sure Brookhill
training
gets
with
it.
honor, but you know.
Friend Gareth learned many things. Some say he is 1/4 increased the man he once was before. Having gone from level 3 to level 4.
I'm just gonna squint. Brookhill is going to let this go because it's me. Like the money went to Miyamoto, and he's kind of chill, so like it's fine. Like he didn't keep it for himself. So it's just like, I'll let this slide for now. For now.
The rest of the townsfolk, having seen all this plan actually like work, and have actually been surprised that Umber's thing actually went. Instead of Umber's original payment was just like what I managed to scrounge from a bunch of people who don't think that this is actually going to work, but here we got something. But for the narrative's sake, the rest of the townsfolk does scratch together enough to pay Quill and Miyamoto their respective shares as well. You guys could just worry about splitting that 1,000 gold from Umber.
All right.
So they are also paid as part of the assisting team. If either of them
Right.
died, then you would have gotten their share.
Wow.
There's still time.
Well, Miyamoto can't die. Nobody dies.
Not with you guys around.
No.
Well, I mean, Miyamoto goes to the nearby inn, and he's cracking open casks of ale, and the innkeep from before, who was so scared and sad that you guys were kind of coming through this town and kind of subjecting yourselves to danger, and also threw a trident through somebody's face
Yes.
that one time because he was trying to defend the town alongside you guys,
what a
is cracking open
badass.
all the good stuff. Everyone's drinking for free tonight, and there's
Garrett-
drinking and revelry,
Garrett-
people playing music.
Like his still priority is still kind of almost like officiating kind of everything that's going on because he wants, like he just wants this to go as smoothly as possible. So he won't be at the inn until it seems to him everything is fine and he can leave it alone.
All right. There's a few people who are still going to be like resting at the church that are kind of like injured, and a few people are like, no, I'm going to go home and go to fuck to bed.
Right. Well, I mean, like, it's not like I'm not fucking nightingaling this shit.
You're going to tuck them in.
I'm not. No, I'm like moving
Set
supplies,
them in
moving,
bedtime
like,
story.
resources
Sure.
and whatever they collected.
Gareth comes in late to the festivities, having moved around some of the lumber and putting away some of the carts and unhitching some of the horses as well. They brought back like a dozen horses. I think for this town they're only gonna keep like maybe 8 of them, and they're gonna release for the other 4 to try and kind of like regroup the loss, but they just can't feed that many. But that's sort of the Black Stallions kind of like join their small stables.
Nice.
Sorry, but the image of like a cute little like dainty little town that only has like pitch black hell horses is kind of funny.
They're huge. These things are huge. They're gigantic horses too. They're full blown like
horses.
Yeah, they're not like war horses, but they are like they're not Clydesdale, but damn, they're close.
Big boys.
Yeah.
Azrian looks at Umber once the dust settles, and she holds up her little makeup bag. I believe I promised you a makeover?
Is that makeup?
Yes.
Why is it so shiny?
I apologize, but a lot of my makeup is costume makeup. I mean, and she kind of like motions down at herself being dancer attire all the time.
Umber nods. That makes sense.
But I have a variety.
Let's do this.
And I take
I'll
her
get my
to my
sword.
room. Why do you need your sword?
I don't know. I don't know what makeovers entail.
You look at Umber, a ranger rogue huntress from the woods. Likely has never touched a makeup palette in her entire life.
Well, you don't need a sword.
You might need a sword.
You totally need a sword.
Umber nods. She keeps the sword.
Okay, just keep it sheathed. Please.
She sheathes it.
And
slowly.
I take her to my room and I do her makeup really pretty and then I do her hair.
All right. Do you need to go back to the room, or can you just like go up to the top balcony? Because like there's so many drinks and revelry and music at this point.
Yeah,
Somebody breaks
sure. It's not
out a
gonna take
All I can
banjo.
think is like the fingers in my mouth meme now.
Oh god, yep. Here we go again. Umber is having her lesbian awakening experience on the top balcony. But the inn is full of people. People are drinking and having a good time, and the few people that kind of managed to get out of this without too many scars are kind of celebrating that this, like, oh, we're not just some random nobody town. Apparently we can hold our own. We don't need to rely on like
We can hold our own,
Alexandria
and we're not
and
dead.
Alfield, and we're not dead.
And we're not dead.
Some
It's
of us are
amazing.
dead, but we gotta pour one out for those guys too.
Oh yeah, they pour some out. There's a later in the night, Moya will gather everybody up, and I'm not gonna focus on this scene too much. But everyone kind of goes back outside, and the village chief essentially is what she is. She says some prayers and some good words for the people who have fallen. And a one out is poured for them.
Right in the sand.
Excellent.
Yeah, no. So Garrett, kind of done with all the officiating, is finally like decompressing. Like,
Sure.
He's just, like,
Gareth comes in later.
Like-
Things have been going on for an hour. Food has already been kind of handed out, and Gareth
Right.
comes wandering in with a few of the other handymen and handy women at the hour mark.
Mhm.
It's probably like 7 o'clock at night.
yeah.
I have finished Umber.
Umber's hair has like braids in it. It's so crazy.
Wild.
They like curl around her horns like really nicely,
The
and they're
dirt
pulled
has
like
been chiseled out of the ridges of her horns.
That's
Padme
whack.
Amidala is in this fucking inn.
Hello. What?
But yeah, no. Garrett just kind of waves to the innkeeper, and like he tries to get some food and some drinks, like he
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
mind if
food.
it's cold food or whatever, right? But like, there's something just to fill himself up and the people that he was kind of working with.
Sounds good. You get some kind of, it's mostly just like cooked vegetables for the most part. They're a little too afraid to slaughter some pigs and cows immediately. They just have whatever's left over.
But
But there's a few meats.
Many thanks.
You are obliged with a tip of the hat, and nobody has to pay. Just to be clear, nobody has to pay for any food tonight. It's all free. It's all in the house.
Nice.
In case anybody was confused, concerned, or if I just forgot to say that.
No, you did. You did.
Excellent.
Brookel just spends the evening stuffing her face
Of course.
and probably drinking whatever they got. Honestly, she's not very picky, and her leg hurts like a bitch. So
Yeah, gotta
she got fairly well carved up.
gotta wash that down. Unfortunately, you got like almost a full like cast going on of bandages, essentially, just to kind of
Yeah,
keep.
she's just limping everywhere, like because there's nothing like.
You're
she's
not
back
gonna
in her
like
dress,
this.
It's more comfortable.
You're not gonna like this at all. But the Bing brothers have fashioned you a crutch.
Oh,
Do you take it?
Do you take it?
Do I take do like how big is the ego? Like how powerful is the ego?
That's a good question. Maybe you got to roll for it. Who knows?
Ugh. Did they really do that for me after I called them cowards in their native language?
Hey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they did.
Some dwarves are bigger than you, Cat. I mean, I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to say.
I
yeah,
wanted to
running away
stab
from
you.
combat and letting their own die is quite big.
Alright, sure, yeah, she'll take it.
You're a fool. It's a cursed staff. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you take this crutch. They go, listen. It turns out you guys were right. And you did a great job defending our livelihoods.
And you're cowards.
Well, listen. These hands were made for crafting. For crafting.
Farmers
Little
died.
stifles a laugh.
We were born to be lovers, not fighters.
Valerie points at the bartender. Farmer boy over there threw a javelin through somebody's head.
And we're very proud of him for doing that. But look at these stocky little dwarven feet. These stocky little dwarven arms. Do you think we can throw a pitchfork with such accuracy and grace?
Oh, fuck
Azri
you.
looks
You
down at
picked
her
up- you
little,
picked
like-
up the goddamn voice halfway through that line, and I hate it.
Azri looks down at her like little golden slippered feet
It's whenever Robert talks.
and her tiny little hands.
The second brother.
That's not really an excuse.
At any rate,
It
Dwarf,
isn't.
you have muscle.
at any rate, enjoy the crutch. Farewell. And the Bing
I
brothers
should-
exit stage left,
Okay.
never to be
Never.
seen in this campaign again.
I was just gonna say.
Thank God. I thank the gods. I'll be blessed if I'm never
I would
seeing,
like find a stray
real
piece of
smooth
like
faces again.
I find a stray piece of like something on the floor and just throw it at one.
Throw a napkin.
Valerie's out here committing assault.
Chuck a spoon.
I'm gonna chuck something light at them.
Yeah, you can probably you can find like a tea bag. Like there's nothing really.
What do I even roll to see if I can hit them?
That'd be a dexterity check.
Hard to hit a dwarf. They're really small.
Aim for the back of his head.
You
I fucking nail him in the back of the head.
ding him
with
in the
the
back of the
tea
head with a tea bag, and it kind of bounces off. He turns around and looks down at the ground, and he looks very confused as Thomas looks up and down and left and right, like yeah. He picks up the tea bag.
Valerie whistles.
And he looks at you, and then he's gonna try and throw the tea bag back at you, and this is a -4.
Jesus.
Didn't they have hands made to craft? Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god, yes they do. They wing it and it lands right in your cup. Cause they're above that.
I have a little bit of respect for the Big Brothers, and I hate it.
And then
Tiny
they-
bit of respect.
They
Where
walk
was
out of the
that
room.
kind of action on the field?
They drop the mic and then they walk out of the room. They're gonna go get some ale from the fucking bartender. What is left?
Valerie clears her throat.
Miyamoto is like standing on top of one of the chairs.
Of course he is.
And he's just like trying to get everyone to come and sing some various like alcohol drinking songs. Essentially, is what he's attempting to do in the
Can I
background.
back him up with my guitar?
Sure.
I got my lyre.
Are you? There's actually 2 people who are
Yeah.
playing like banjos already. Like people here are musicians as well. So maybe you're playing with some people.
Dance, dance, dance,
Ooh.
dance, 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 dance.
24. Yeah.
So I immediately take out my guitar and I just like plop myself down in a chair with the banjoers.
I don't do it quite as well because I am not used to banjos.
It's a little
fine.
weird. It's a lot of string going on. It's like
Like-
3 melodies.
I'm playing kind of differently. I'm more slapping my guitar rather than like plucking it because banjos sound weirder.
And in an attempt to fit in, Valerie is playing in a unique way that Azarine is not quite used to. Yeah, you guys do a good performance, and people are willing to throw you a coin.
Valerie invented slapping.
You-
Slap
you-
it up ass.
You both get 5 silver.
Yay!
These people don't have gold to throw around.
It's
They've
fine.
already given us their gold.
They have
I mean-
nothing.
It's fine.
Isn't it?
That's enough to let me stay at inns and stuff, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unless you're me, I'm free.
Oh, right, I forgot
Okay.
about that.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah,
pay.
Valerie and Azarine don't need to pay anything. I mean, they can get comfortable lodging, but sometimes you want
Yeah.
fancier lodging, and then you have to pay the actual price.
Comfies.
You get some comfies. What is everyone doing? Moya is going to come over and wants to kind of talk with like the party. Quill's kind of in the back. He's like occasionally diddling something on the piano, but he's not like a professional musician, so he doesn't really get far. Miyamoto's having a grand old time, but Moya, the chief of the village, would like to kind of communicate with all you guys.
I mean, like Garrett kind of like doesn't really sing, but like he just kind of like
You
hums along
half-heartedly-
with the thing,
when there's a
half-heartedly
huge- there's a
just-
chorus of,
just-
like-
just to you know satisfy Miyamoto.
Yeah,
but,
because he's
like,
gonna he's
He'll
gonna
take
molest you for the rest of the night if you don't. Is what's gonna
don't
happen.
say that. Anyways.
It's now going to be Azarine's sole ambition to get Gareth to sing once.
He's doing a little something now. It's
We
a
can
chorus of 8
probably
people.
do it.
It's
we can
humming,
probably
it
do
doesn't
right
count.
now.
Humming doesn't
What if
count.
we double bardic inspiration him?
Yes!
No, absolutely not. Anyways,
Absolutely not. But yeah, he's
Two
having a good
sweet,
time.
long-eared,
One day
two
he's gonna
sweet
learn.
looking, long-eared girls just staring at him like, do it. Sing.
And a third
Do
one
it.
pops up to call him a coward.
Do it, you won't.
Pussy!
Thanks, Brookhild. You're so encouraging. Do you guys go over to Moya? Moya number?
Sure, I'll hobble on over.
Yeah.
Sure.
Garrett will kind of.
It's
like,
just a-
and he's like.
One
He
of the round
like kind of
tables.
greets her and kind of starts giving her like the situation, like because you know he kind of
I'll look over in her direction while playing
Um,
quieter.
you know
Sure.
we have tallied the dead, but we have also secured everything usable from that encampment and brought it back to the town. So hopefully now with the militia as it is, you should be able to protect yourselves quite well.
Well, thank you. We appreciate what you've done for us. Dear Amber here has had the right of it all along, and I was foolish to disregard her. We are fortunate that people have come that were so willing to lend a hand for what little coin we have to offer, and to train our people to boot. Perhaps we will be fine even after you leave.
That was my hope, Miss Moira.
What?
Brooklyn plops along with the loud clunk of her cast, and she's like too bored and disinterested to actually second what Garrett's saying, but she's just like, yeah, no, it's just whatever he's saying. Yeah, it's fine. It's Gucci.
Well, what is your plans? You're
Our
welcome
plan-
to stay as long as you would like, of course, as minor heroes of the land.
Please, we don't require that gratitude. We were just before this all happened, we were just planning on making a little stop before heading up to Cape Solomon.
Oh,
We should probably take a rest and then
Head out tomorrow, most likely.
roll perception.
what?
Me or
Everyone at the table. Everyone who's joined this conversation.
Perception. I'm bad.
Who
Okay.
got above a 15?
me?
All right.
And also
And-
Valerie.
Oh, and Rinthi.
Valerie.
Valerie and Gareth kind of went when you guys kind of like mentioned like, oh yeah, we're going to Cape Solomon. You just barely notice Quill's ears kind of prick up.
Interested or something?
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but all right.
What? What was that, my dear friend, fellow?
It was our mistake. It was my friend here. Thought you said something.
No, you seemed quite interested when we mentioned Cape Solomon.
Okay.
I'm gonna elbow Gareth
Just kind of just
in
like,
the
all
ribs.
right.
Gareth relents.
Ah, yes, well, indeed, it's been quite some time since I've heard about Cape Solomon. I visited a long time ago, and I just haven't heard it in some time.
I suppose you're welcome to keep traveling with us if our driver agrees. Where's Ray? Is Ray here?
He is in the corner, just like
Absolutely shit faced.
deep
Come
in
on,
like
Ray,
the
what do
third
you
or
say?
fourth jar. You can get someone can go talk to him later, but right now he's just like, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me.
He
Don't
did
think.
something
Don't
nice.
think about me.
He did something nice, and now he has like that am I a good person fever.
Don't touch
Like,
me.
I know what it means. I know what it is, but like. So yeah, but Brookhill just tells Cole he's welcome to travel with them if
Oh, well,
if Ray agrees. Not that Ray's
More
going
than
to care.
proved yourself.
I would, I will consider your proposition. I think I might need to rethink about what it is I need to do, actually. My goals have been buried by sand recently. I guess I'm due for a change-up. I will consider.
Well, make your mind up quickly, because apparently we're leaving tomorrow.
Yes,
she kind of
indeed.
rolls her eyes at Gareth, just like,
I mean, that is the hope. Yes,
"Look, can't we have a break for once? Jeez,
we are having one right now, are we not?
you're so serious. Just
Live it up while you can. We're still runaways. I mean, adventures.
Gareth was
Quill's
You're
ears
what?
prick up again.
yeah.
Umber's like, what?
I don't think I've ever seen Gareth relax in the month.
You know, if I was him, I wouldn't be very relaxed either, and somewhere deep down, I don't think I am, so.
Valerie, I think you should go have some rest before she just starts spilling everything out to everyone. Just being like, hey guys, we saw the Dark
I
Knight
think
Prince.
I need a drink.
That's the opposite of what you go ahead. Whoever's drinking needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
I have one.
Oh god.
Roll
I
a
guess-
Constitution saving throw.
Wow.
Oh god.
Wow.
One?
Oh
Gareth.
my god.
Constitution saving throw for
Wow,
me?
Gareth
One?
actually critically failed a Constitution saving
It's
throw.
possible. Listen, man, Gareth, they
And
popped
it
out.
was almost as good as Valor.
Yeah, I mean,
Valerie.
you can't really critically fail a Constitution. Well,
I mean,
actually,
you
it
can
is a
critically
saving
fail
throw.
getting shit faced.
You get
yeah.
wasted.
Rinthy's like, my mind would operate a lot better if I just had something to take the edge off. And then we hard cut to 10 minutes later. Valerie's just like, whoa, on top of the table.
Well, the edge has definitely been taken off.
It's the Miyamoto
In fact,
effect.
I think it's completely
It
dull.
was-
What's happened is
Right,
Miyamoto has engaged the two of you, and he's like, oh, come on. We are celebrating as warriors. Surely you can have more than just one humble beverage. And you guys are like, well,
I want to do shots at Miyamoto.
you're on your fourth shot with Miyamoto.
Don't you get advantage on Constitution saving throws when it comes to alcohol?
Oh, I
Brookhill
think I
does.
do because it's poison.
Yeah.
So
I'm
the
perfectly
21.
fine.
As
What?
Azarine leans over to Brookhill and she is looking at Valerie dancing on the table and she's like, that wasn't me that one time, was it?
It
Oh
absolutely
no,
was.
you were way worse.
I still don't remember what happened.
See, you were worse.
A sex machine.
Oh, what?
All right, Valerie, you should let me take you upstairs. And Garrett just literally just grabs Valerie by the scruff of her neck and like immediately starts to take her out. He is not.
Can I make a?
She
can I
is
make
a
an
liability.
No,
Yes, you can make an acrobatics check. Everyone's pretty. Gareth, you grab at the air and you're a little drunk yourself.
Yeah,
and, like,
excuse me?
You grab up and never mind, you re-snatch her.
I said
Garrett,
you're going upstairs.
Gareth, I really think that I should be the one to put her
She
to bed.
tried to do.
You may follow
she, like,
then.
tried
but I
to do
cannot
some
run
form.
horse down here any longer.
Me-
She tried to do some form of a grip reversal, and she just ended up on Garrett's back and just kind of clings there and just like whatever.
Miyamoto's like,
I'll make
no,
sure-
come on, let her stay. We're having such a good time.
I'll make sure that they get to their rooms okay. Oh boy. And
And
she
please,
Garrett,
just,
I mean, he failed, but I mean, I feel like Gareth is still kind of fine. Like he's still kind of.
Azuri doesn't know that.
I mean, he's not going to bed. He's just making sure who was already loose-lipped before being shit-faced.
I'm helping.
Yes.
Let me help you
Okay.
because you are also intoxicated.
Yeah, but no,
And you can barely make it back down the stairs without landing on your
Can
ass.
I?
Valerie,
No,
apparently you are
annoying.
forcibly put to bed. But yeah, the door is left open, so you can still participate. You can hear what's going on.
I
You
hate
don't
the
actually
love
have to.
fuck out of all of you.
Gareth can put you to bed, but you can just get back up again after he goes back downstairs if you'd like.
She's just gonna leave the room and like come back down.
As Azrain's like, yeah, I don't know why he brought you up here. You're fine. I'll
You can
just
put
keep
me
watching.
upstairs, but I'll just come back
She
down.
is not fine.
Quill,
Gareth, go back downstairs. I think someone needs you.
Quill got a 6 on his Constitution saving throw, so he's a little tipsy as well. Miyamoto's doing great, but he's distracted by the love of life. Who's down?
Gareth,
Who's
I
down?
think someone
Gareth
needs
is,
you downstairs.
I'm
Gareth
still
is back down.
downstairs.
Gareth is back
Yeah.
downstairs.
Sure, everyone's still
I-
here.
I
Like even
come back
Valerie can just like
downstairs.
rejoin within like minutes.
Brunhild is yelling Imperial drinking songs.
Perfect. And Miyamoto doesn't know any of them. He's just like, oh, yeah, like trying to sing along with them. But he's doing a terrible, terrible, horrible job. But yeah, even Moya's relaxed at this point. Umber,
So,
you just kind of notice as Quill kind of like stands up and slowly saunters across the room. Quill, I don't know if you've ever gotten the full description of people. But when you kind of came in and first was talking about like, hey, we're not getting help from Alexandria, you're kind of like, or you're kind of our only hope. In the retinue of this party was a samurai and also some like English gentleman like motherfucker. And the English gentleman motherfucker is now approaching you. They have the eye patch, kind of the beard. They're looking a lot more scruffy and a lot more like scarred and a little bit older than you first met them. It's been a long few days, some might say. But they
you look different.
they sit down. Well, I thank you. Maybe.
Mhm.
I prefer to keep some of my appearances more mundane with the help of some magic, but I fear that I've been almost killed in the past 12 hours. I'm a little tired.
That makes the brunt of us.
Who said that?
Valerie
Yeah,
from upstairs. She's leaning over the balcony just above your heads. Her hand is kind of like just
I'm just like, what the
hanging
fuck?
down. She has a cup of water. She's doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple weeks.
If you wouldn't mind, I would just like to ask a few questions, if that's all right by you.
She crosses her arms but nods.
He reaches into his inside coat pocket with his one good arm. And does he have his book, or did somebody take that from him at some point?
No, I gave everything back.
Oh, okay. Well, then he reaches into his pocket. And he pulls out his leather-bound journal, and he lays it out flat on the table, and he's kind of having a bit of trouble, but his writing hand is still good. So he kind of takes a little pot of ink, and he takes a little quill out, and he dips it in. And it's a very nice quill. It's an extravagant quill, even.
Where'd you get that?
Oh, I just kept it with me after my many travels as a memento, really, an heirloom.
Huh.
Yes, it is the source of the name.
Oh. Your name's not Quill?
What is a name besides what one calls oneself? And in that respect, it is my name.
Fair enough.
Now, can you tell me more about these black riders that have been harrying your village? When did they start?
I guess a couple weeks back. A little after we stopped hearing from any nearby towns.
Right, and did you know what happened to the towns? Allfield specifically?
Not until the adventurers came in, no.
Ah, quite. Well, I regret to inform you it's apparently been buried by sand. I suspect of some form of magical nature, but the investigation continues on that front.
That's what Moya thought.
He's scratching his notes.
Can you tell me more about what she thought? Did she have any kind of insight into this matter?
For that, you'd probably have to ask her yourself. She'd be better to explain it than I.
I'm not sure if she'd be willing to tell me. I'm still some stranger.
Well, you did help us out. I feel
Yes.
information's the least we could give.
Well, perhaps you could put in a good word for me. And were there anyone else that you asked for help? These ruffians that I've come across, are quite, I suppose, good-hearted and well-spirited, but was there no one else?
Well, I mean, there's been few and far between people that pass by on their way to other places, but this was the first time that I could convince Moya. Well, I guess this is the first time I went behind Moya's back and decided to just go out on a limb.
I see, but you're a province of Alexandria. They...
Yeah, like Alexandra gives any two shits about what happens here.
Ah,
They haven't helped us in quite a while. Not since they closed the gates.
right. When did they close the gates, actually?
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
No, I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, if you
I don't know.
if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
He kind of he kind of like plays with the quill for like a second. He kind of like picks it up off the page and just goes, He sighs and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out that medallion from before that fell out of his pocket when he went unconscious that Azreen saw, and I guess she put it back in his pocket, right?
Yeah, I gave it back to him.
Okay. On it, it's a dull bronze medallion, and emblazoned on it is some fire and some flames with a helmet in profile on it. And he puts it on the desk. And it looks very old and very tarnished. And Umber would recognize this sigil. On behalf of, with what little power I have left, on behalf of the Flame Knights, I apologize. Umber, you should not have been left high and dry out here to deal with this on your own.
Umber looks at the medallion, and then looks at Quill, and then looks back at the medallion. And she starts to cry.
He immediately Quill's like, oh no. He immediately just kind of like, don't do that, please, no. You've quite a fine town here. You've little to be sad for.
Who notices
Throws the
Umber
piece out and
start
goes
crying?
invisible.
He's thinking about it.
Who notices this? Does anyone notice?
This isn't a private conversation. He's just
Garrett was walking towards because he saw Quill talking with Umber, and he's like, why is he questioning everybody? She was gonna like go in and try to almost butt it, and then he saw her start to cry. He's like, and he just turned around and started to go back to the bar. He's like, how's Miyamoto doing?
Umber kind of looks up from the medallion at Quill and just goes, "At least someone came, right? We didn't lose some of our loved ones for nothing. We saved the town. And you came, and so did they, and this means a lot."
Yes, it is quite all right now, and all will be well.
From further away, you can hear Brunhilde. Are you okay, lass? Is he bothering you?
Quill's like looking over to. Quill looks over to Azreen and Valerie, and he's like, "Help me."
Umber she shakes, she jumps for a second, and she's like, "Oh no! Oh god, no! Oh,
Valerie
no.
looks over at
Azreen!
Chloe.
Azreen!
What?
I forgot. I'm wearing makeup.
It's waterproof. Don't worry, you're fine.
Oh,
It's true. It's been established that it's waterproof makeup.
You think the mermaid would have non-waterproof makeup?
It's okay, I spent a lot of time in the water. It's all waterproof. You don't have to worry about it smudging.
It feels
The
glossy. It's like your
Wait.
face has been laminated.
the mer what?
Oh, that was out of character.
Okay.
That was probably in character because Brunhilde is just like that. She's loud.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not a secret,
You
but it is
can
funny.
cry
It's not a
all you
secret.
The what?
The what? Quill says.
We are.
I get a tail when I'm wet.
I thought you just got stringy. Umber says through her
Yeah,
tears.
Hank, I will roll another Constitution saving throw because Gareth is drinking a lot right now.
Go for it.
What?
Eh.
Unfortunately, you can still hear.
I don't know. I don't know what a mermaid is. Umber says.
Is there a tub of water
Crying.
anywhere?
Okay,
How
we're
about we
no,
don't do this right now?
No, we're
Umber
going
glares at
upstairs.
Gareth.
We're going upstairs. We're getting a tub. We're bringing it down, and we're putting Azreen in the tub.
I've got a circus attraction.
We're not.
It's an hour
We're
later.
just revealing all the secrets, aren't we?
It's an
We
hour
find-
later. There's a mermaid in the corner.
If it
Miyamoto
helps,
is under
a slightly-
the table.
A slightly tipsy Umber says, "If it helps," she pulls her tail. "I'm a tiefling."
It helps a little. I
Hey,
think I need
has
more
it been
than
long
one
enough
drink.
for Garrett to have rolled another saving throw?
Go for it. He's been pounding him.
Like you're allowed to just go to bed.
Yeah!
Yeah, Gareth, the third failure. Gareth and Miyamoto are
second.
cuddling on the
Not
left
that-
seat.
First of all,
You know what?
shut
You know
up,
what? I'm
not
due
cuddling,
to.
but Garrett
I'm-
now doesn't have to hear this shit, and now he's not worrying about fucking every single secret that we don't want to tell the perhaps
The public.
bounty hunter.
Perhaps
Fuck it.
bounty hunters.
Hey.
Cool, cool, come and
Azreen's
get
just
it.
like she's sitting on a table. The end of like her half of her tail is in this bucket, and she's just like, "It's gonna take a while for me to dry off."
Quill at this point has been just like staring, sort of like, huh. Just at all the nonsense. Remember that first
is
night when
weird.
Miyamoto and Gareth showed up and they were exhausted and you guys just literally just threw them and they just like ragdolled against like
Yeah.
the fucking bed. They're in the corner doing that again, just like ragdolled on the
What?
floor across
Wait,
the...
what?
You're drunk as hell, dude.
I know I'm drunk as hell, but fuck.
You're out. You had 3 failed Constitution saving
I had
throws.
2 failed Constitution saving throws.
You think
Needed
10
to
is
beat it.
success?
Yeah, needed to beat it, motherfucker.
Maybe. All right, fine.
Oh.
Gareth is cognizant. No, he's not cognizant, but he's awake.
He is joyfully jubilant that he is not like really understanding what's happening. Like he is happily at the bar, you know, just like there was a good 30 minutes where he was finishing a drink every like 4 or 5 minutes.
The more unbothered he gets, the more I want to personally go bother him.
The night is
Please
young.
don't bother
But
him.
Quill
Umber,
Quill
do
has
it.
finished talking with Umber. He closes his journal and he says,
Yes, that is all I have for you. Unfortunately, I will do what I can to assist in the future, though I'm afraid my powers are quite small. But I am happy the people are able to help themselves. I'm simply
nods.
sorry that they have to do so. But at any rate,
We
please.
thank you.
Oh no, don't, please. I am not the person you should be thanking. Perhaps those gates will be open someday again, and things will be righted with the world.
Can I get out of the bucket now?
You may get out of the bucket. I think we
Can
have
we
seen all
even
what we need
walk?
to see.
Oh, Umber's
need
wants to
help?
find Brookehild.
But she's probably somewhere chugging shit and yelling songs and just, I don't know, being.
She's beaten the Bing brothers in a third round of Dwarven poker.
Oh
Shit.
my god.
They are not wearing clothes anymore.
I don't want that.
She has everything.
I want the opposite of that.
Umber's wearing horse blinders as she walks by and tries to talk to
I
Brookehild.
I don't want to see them even dressed. What sorry, I need to get into. What is it, lass?
I just wanted to thank you for saving my life.
Can't hear you.
If you hadn't joined in on the Nova, I probably would be dead.
You know what? Me too, probably.
And I wanted to thank you, and as a symbol of our friendship and the good deed that you have done,
That's a lot of big words, lass. You're scaring me though.
I have named my horse Hildy.
She
After
spits
you.
out her drink, which I almost did. she spits out her drink, presumably all over the naked Bing brothers.
They are coated in your spit ale.
What? You named a horse after me? You named what? She kind of hates horses, you know. Like she's.
She is strong and powerful, just like you.
They sting.
No, they're beautiful, Brookehild.
They're
They are majestic creatures.
They're stinky and wrong, and I hate them. He's just ranting.
They are lovely, and they carry us on their backs, just like you carried me through that fight.
You're not making sense, lass. She straightens herself. Sorry, I've never had anyone name an animal after me before.
Well, I don't have a kid, so
Please don't do that to them. Please, Umber, don't do that to your
Wow,
children.
surprise.
You're welcome. I guess I did my best. Thank you too, I suppose, for hauling me around. You were quite the help back there. You're pretty good with those knives.
Umber chuckles. Well, 24 years of hunting probably brought me there. Well, 24. I am 24. Let's say 20 years. 4? Yes.
You've been hunting undead the entire time, or is it just that a deer and a man is barely a difference?
Oh, no. Just animals.
Grugel kind of beckons her, like, just a little bit closer. She doesn't want to, like, be too loud for that one. Sorry, that was your first time killing someone, and you just went at it like that?
Those people were no different from animals, Brookehild.
Grugel's eyes widen a little. She like her eyebrows are. She's just like, okay. I'm not gonna fuck with Umber. Okay, I get it. That's pretty cold. That's pretty cold, boss. I'll make sure to stick to your good side. She smiles. She's like, lovely horse you have though. Never mind what I said.
Umber just laughs and then shrugs, and she goes, "Don't worry.
she cheers, like she toasts her drink towards someone. To not dying this time.
Yeah. And hopefully not dying in the future.
I can vibe with that.
She clinks her glass.
Clink. Cheers.
Clonk.
Brookehild, what do bedroom eyes mean?
Azarine, do you have another drink?
I guess.
It's gonna be a Constitution saving throw.
I'm sorry, Valerie said a
That's
weird
fine.
thing again.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
I was quite clear, was I not?
Uh-oh.
Azarine.
Here it comes.
Azarine.
I don't...
Oh, Fortuna starts playing on the banjo.
Get it, Tuna?
Oh,
Why
well,
would it waste my
Garrett doesn't
ether?
care, because if Garrett was in a state, he probably would have been like, I'm going to go get the cuffs. But now, he's...
Now it's too late. She's already found them. It's over.
What is she doing with those?
No, Azarine, you have another drink, and Azarine, here's what happens.
Uh-oh.
You are intoxicated. You are quote unquote out of control, but
Yes.
you are also immune to fear.
Yes!
Yes, I think you should hide before Azarine starts asking you what bedroom eyes mean.
What does bedroom eyes mean?
I'm
Oh
going
my
to
God.
use myself upstairs.
Oh,
That's
please
the
don't hide with
eyes.
them.
That is the
So-
eyes an assassin
I
has
didn't
while
say
they
you
glare through the
couldn't
window
follow
at you in
me.
your
I'm
sleep.
not
Oh,
going to be-
shit!
Azarine takes the hands of both Quill and Umber, and she pulls them, and they start dancing.
Any saves, or?
I don't. Well, I mean,
Wait.
a Quill would
Wait,
be.
so it's a triangle
And-
of dance?
Yes,
No.
and Umber,
Got it.
there is a difference now. Before
Azarine
she was
is-
very gentle, playful, very graceful. Now hips are starting to move a little bit more.
She's a demon.
Yep.
Garrett, hey.
Umber looks at Azarine. Umber looks at Gareth. Umber looks at Bruno.
Garrett isn't looking. He has his word cover kit out, actually.
Umber looks
He's
at
humming to himself.
Quill.
Quill.
Umber looks at Valerie
Quill
again.
looks at
Umber
you
looks
with
at
fear
Azarine
in his
again.
eyes.
Umber looks at Quill again. Umber looks at Quill. I think I'm Gareth.
Valerie just like mouths sorry under her breath.
Yeah, Brookel is like doing the thing where like you avert your eyes from the plane crash that you can see in slow motion. Like
It's so hard to look away, but you know it's terrible.
It's
I
like,
think
oh,
I'm
God.
gay, but not for the mermaid.
What?
I would.
What?
Oh,
I don't know, man.
I think I'm gonna go have a smoke outside.
You know what? I don't even smoke, but I'll join you.
I would turn invisible now, Gramps, if I were you. Garrett just says without looking up, like carving away.
Now he like rushes
Umber-
herself
Umber
outside with
Umber
Brooke.
looks at Quill with like pleading, like crybaby eyes and just goes, "Please don't leave me here alone."
She once again
Go
whispers,
invisible?
"I'm
Does he
sorry,"
go
as
invisible?
Brooke kills and her leave the building.
Quill can't go invisible after that plea, after that cry for help.
And he's out of spell slots, isn't he?
We're gonna maybe.
Is
we're gonna...
anyone going to be around
No,
before Azarine opens her mouth?
no, I'm leaving.
Because this is important.
I
Well,
think
I
that
have-
Valerie's outside with Ray. Ray,
Okay.
Valerie, and Brookill are sitting on the stoop across the street, and Ray just has a fucking
Probably
blanket
passing
around
a
his.
joint, to be honest.
They're fucking passing it. Ray doesn't give a shit at this point. Ray does not give the
Passing the
big. He
joint
doesn't
around.
give a fuck. He's outside looking at the lights inside, squinting. He has his shutter shades on again.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Gareth is like he has
Gareth, are you
removed
in the
himself. He's inside the building, but he's like removed himself from the vicinity.
He's just almost hyper focusing on the fucking wood carving.
The
that
wood
he's,
carving,
you know?
yeah. And Miyamoto's,
He's probably not even listen. Like he probably can't even like register
yeah.
people talking.
I don't know where Brookill
Yeah.
is. I thought Brookill might be accosting Gareth, but I'm not quite sure.
No,
she's
I'm
with,
outside. No, I'm outside.
Oh right, yeah,
smoking,
fucking
passing the
passing that
booth.
fat one with fucking Ray. All right, yeah, Azreen, you're with Quill and Umber is who you're with, and then also several townsfolk.
Yep.
Kidnappies.
So she's dancing, and with this music that's playing, because obviously the band's still here.
Yeah, band's still here. They're still
I'm
playing.
assuming.
Yeah, they're still playing. Valor's not the only person playing music.
And
They
she
too have been
starts.
kidnapped.
Valerie's not even there. She's outside
Yeah.
with Brooke and Ray.
And she starts to sing,
Got a fiddle going on.
and her voice has that same like, almost like echoey, very like, powerful, like tone to it. That's like incredibly mesmerizing. I don't have any spell slots anymore.
I'm sorry
So,
then.
I'm not gonna cast anything.
Yeah, Azreen, you
But
try.
that
You're,
doesn't stop her
you're
from
using
singing.
your song. Your may I say, dare I say, siren song even. But you have no power left. Your body is exhausted and it's kind of starting to show. You're drunk. You're in fear and you're kind of wild right now as you are when you're intoxicated. But you are so physically just stretched, clean, like completely wiped out, like exhausted. That I don't really think that there's anything. I'm gonna have you roll a Constitution saving throw. But it's just Azreen is just so, she's just been so strung out that there's really nothing that can be done. She just enjoys it, has a good time, I guess. Giving various people bedroom eyes, and Quill is just absolutely terrified the entire time. Umber is gay.
Am I rolling the Constitution saving throw, or
Yes, you are, because you're the one who's tired and sad and may or may not be. Yeah, please strangle.
7?
All right, I think you go for a while like this, having like a good time, kind of like fiddling with people, if that makes any sense. But eventually, you kind of like not pass out fully, but you kind of like become exhausted, and you're kind of just.
I
wiped out.
am leaning on the nearest person, whoever's closest to me.
Umber or Quill, who takes this unfortunate thing.
Flip a coin, DM.
Evens is Umber. Evens is Umber. Quill.
Oh no! Oh
Fucking
no!
Azreen is just like poof, right in the Quill, and Quill's just like he just looks at Umber, and he's got his cheeks are flushed, and he's like, oh no, oh the humanity.
You're part of the Flame Guard. You got this. Umber gives him a thumbs up.
Oh right, oh shit, I think he forgot his medallion on the table.
I'll go get it.
Right.
You're stuck with the fucking fish.
Is this a game that's played every now and then? Just who gets stuck with the fish?
I'm not a fish. There's a
Old
difference.
boy, Gramps, I'm only 35. Please.
Oh, you're 35? You're still younger than me.
What?
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 Miyamoto. What? Quill looks you up and down. What? You look like you're 24 at the most.
That's a lie. I'm not.
Well, to be fair, Quill, you also looked like 28.
But then again, yes, I suppose I am one to talk, but it would be ungentlemanly for me to ask a lady's age. Or anyone else for that matter. So I will dare not.
How old are you, Azarine? I'm not a gentleman.
How old am I? I think I don't know. I'm
That's
not 50, that's for sure.
I'm
Not
horny.
I think I've been,
How
and
old
she's
am I?
like counting
Horny.
on her fingers. I think I'm 48. I
What?
don't know.
Azarine is a MILF.
Quill is like, oh my god.
Worst kind of.
If I've been away from my dad for 28 years, then yeah. I left when I was 20. So yeah, 48, I think. Yeah.
Azreen, you are 48 years old.
She's a grandma.
And?
Never mind. Well, you're looking
What?
good.
Am I not pretty
Huh?
enough for 48?
How old
And
did
she looks like
horses
she's
live
going
until?
I knew that perhaps merfolk live a long time, but I didn't realize that one could be so youthful looking and... Well, at any rate,
This isn't normal? I'm not normal?
Look at me. Is this the face of a 48-year-old fish to you?
You're not a fish, you're a man.
You're
and
right.
she boops him on the nose.
Don't touch me.
Also, I like the eye patch better.
It looks at
Someone has to explode into a full sprint and do what Valerie did with Cole.
Body slam.
Body slam fucking Quill out of there, just take him by the shoulder.
If it helps, tieflings live for a longer period of time, so I suppose this isn't too unusual to me.
See, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Cole's reaching up and just like touching his eye patch. Like that's the first time someone's ever said something positive about it in his entire life.
Yeah, I like you better with the eye patch. You didn't have to hide that.
Oh, it's not hidden for your sake or mine. It's just a... Never mind.
Then why you hide it in the first place if you're not hiding something?
Roll persuasion. With advantage because you complimented him.
With advantage, persuasion.
They're a bard. There's no way they can fail
23!
that.
You
Yeah.
can't hide anything
I don't know
from
what I was
me.
thinking. I was like, well, I guess it would be fair since he
Don't
knows she
ask
is
a bard
oh, right.
to roll for persuasion, because it's gonna happen.
Right, plus 8.
We have a very persuasive party. It's like all of the the
A lot of force
the
and charisma.
ass cheek more than brain cells is really serving us in the persuasion department.
There's a lot of T and B in this fucking party going on here. But yeah, I may or may not have a face that people might be on the lookout for in certain places.
It's okay. I don't usually parade my tail about. You guys asked.
Right, of course.
Umber puts
They
Quill's
didn't
medallion
know.
back in his pocket. It just kind of shrugs and goes, "Probably bedtime."
Your
She just
vers-
walks out the door.
Also, I also eat fish, so it's not murder if it's me.
farewell. Are you sure I can't? Can I possibly? May I interest you in a fine fish? No, please.
I love fish.
If you can figure out how to get rid of her.
Here's the problem, Quill. How do we get that? And she points at 12 feet or whatever of Azarine. And then she points
I'm
at
not
the stairs.
a fish. I have legs.
She's gone
do you
back
have-
to leggy.
She got legs now? Oh.
Yeah. I got legs.
It takes some time, but time has been passing. Right. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Bedtime. Farewell.
Farewell.
Goodness
I'm
gracious!
not-
It is
I
9
don't
p.m.
wanna go to bed.
It is my bedtime.
I don't want to go to bed.
Farewell. Godspeeds
I
to
wanna-
you.
I want to dance more.
I don't think you're physically capable of dancing. Where did your friends
You-
go? He looks
I don't
outside and
know.
across the street are 3 motherfuckers just
I don't
fucking
know, the
token in
last-
the far side.
Well, I mean, Garrett's still in there. Like, he just.
Yeah,
Umber
Gareth-
passed by the two people smoking and was just like, "What's that?"
Oh no.
It's okay. The last time this happened, I ended up in a fountain and I was brought home by the police. Apparently.
That's not good. Is Umber gonna learn about the danger of the drugs from her friends Fire Spray Ray and
All
Brew
I'm saying is- all I'm
Brewkild's
saying-
upside down.
Cocaine dust, not even once.
All I'm saying is, this is the one chance that she could before Gareth would normally intervene, but he doesn't care right now. He is
If he's
hyper focused.
you could say that he's not Kareth right now.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Umber, you walk past the 3 of them, and without even missing a beat, fucking Fire Spray Ray, who's a Gith Yankee, he's got like he has like green ochre skin and like a shock of red hair and a red goatee as well. He just looks at you from underneath like a hood that he's created out of a blanket, and he's wearing shutter shade glasses for reasons. And he just goes,
You want to try some drugs?
They're literally all just there, kind of high.
Valerie and Brookild are flanking him on both sides.
Yeah.
He fucking passes you.
Take a
Passes
seat.
you a fucking. He has a pipe that this is a fantasy setting, so he's not just rolling joints on the fucking sidewalk. So he just
It's
passes you a
good because
pipe.
if he passed Umber a joint, she would just eat it. Because she doesn't know how to do it.
He passes you a pipe. His
That would
his pipe.
arguably work.
That would be
Umber looks at it and just kind of goes, "Yes, I've done this before. I know what I'm. Yeah, yep, I know what I'm doing." And she just sticks the pipe as far into her mouth as it can go, and then tries to inhale it down her throat.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
just hearing that hurt me physically.
Salty said he wants to retcon getting in the Nova with me.
Umber is dead. Umber dusts in front of your very eyes.
Wow.
You resist the urge to cough and near even throw up. Your gag reflexes trying to save your life, but you resist. And you kind of like you nod and you're like nice, and in some time you start to have that hazy sort of feeling. Very very minute though.
Lovely.
Well, at any rate, does that anybody? Miyamoto has just been like, and that was when I killed no less than 60 men on the battlefield. He's just leaning on the table next to Gareth, and Gareth is just like trying to focus on carving wood.
Like a girl at a bar getting picked up by a guy who thinks
Yeah.
that Fight Club is the peak of cinema.
Oh, he's back. He's back. What do you call a Gareth that's not wearing any clothes?
I'm muting you. I can't hear you now.
Gay.
I am muted. Currently.
Sure, you have.
Please tell me.
I can't hear her personally. So
Please tell me I need to know. A Barrett?
Fucking Umber beat the system is what Umber did. Oh, Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gareth is forcibly removed from Roll20. The night closes. Quill recovers his medallion and he shoos Azreen upstairs into the far side bedroom.
I tried to take him with me.
Why are you like this?
Azarine is living the life. You make all of your NPCs hot, pay the price.
Roll either persuasion or athletics.
Okay, so I would just.
You think I'm not gonna choose persuasion? 17.
Oh my god. Okay, well hold on. This is
Nightmare.
a contest now. This is a contest. What skill is used to defend against persuasion, you think? Insight?
Wisdom?
Wisdom? Yeah.
Charisma save? I don't know.
Charisma save? Charisma saving throw, force of personality. Where's friends? I'm gonna pop Quill open. I feel like it's only fair if I do this live in front of people. Oh, oof.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Guys, he doesn't have very good charisma.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
So Quill rolls a critical failure
Don't
on
fuck
a
him, please.
Oh
charisma saving throw.
You
Do-
think
do it-
she knows how?
Do it for us, Azarine.
She doesn't.
He doesn't know how, but she does.
Quill, what happens is the Quill and Azreen, he goes over to the bed, sits her down, just goes, taps her on the head, and just goes, well, good night, I'll be sure to bring you some water. And he turns around and like teleportation, she's already behind and shuts the door. And Quill just gulps loudly, and whatever happens, happens.
I'm
so sorry. I
Wow.
didn't save you, Quill. I saw it happen. I didn't do anything.
The car crashes at that exact. This is the moment that the train goes off the rails.
Hey, Valerie, don't you sleep in?
Wait, that's my bedroom.
Azarine Valerie opens the door, sees Quill, closes the door.
Well,
She
Valerie
just, like,
can
she
do what
sees
she's gonna
this
do
happening.
I can only
that comes
presume that Azreen also would lock the door in such cases, but
It's okay,
Yes.
Valerie. You can go with Miyamoto.
she's going to aggressively cuddle Quill.
Valerie's just like looking at the outside of her bedroom door. I sleep that too.
Do you want me to break it?
No, she just walks back outside.
Alright.
There's many rooms. There's plenty enough. You guys now are welcomed as like heroes. Essentially, you guys are given like your rooms of your own and the finest rooms that they have. It's still not amazing, but like
I was
these
probably
rooms have
already
their own.
paying for the best room.
Yeah, they've refunded you. The best rooms, like what makes them fancy, is the bed is slightly bigger and it has its own barrel wood bath. that you have to still cart water up to and then
Please
warm.
tell me that
So-
Umber is actually making these puns out loud while getting blasted. with
Yeah,
shit.
absolutely. She's
She
getting.
is. She is. Absolutely.
Brughild is
He
dying.
is carving and he's.
But like the thing is that she doesn't do it all at once. It's just every once in a while she walks by and you just hear it under her breath. Like and then you look and she's gone.
It's like
he's not
and then
even
you-
looking. He's just.
No.
You hear it above you and you're like, how'd she get above me? And you hear the joke and then she's gone.
it's just like a whisper of the punchline.
Yeah. It's like it's on the wind. You don't know what's happening. But it's there.
We're yeah. Everybody's fucking losing it.
The night continues as just the night of debauchery continues. Late into the night, people are carving or drinking or singing or telling a few good stories. Moya is like
Being
willing
sad
to
a
share a few
sock
things
was
as
put
well.
on your own
Don't say
room.
Farron. Fuck her.
This is what you get for getting an easily punnable name.
It's not you, Gareth. This is her superpower.
Oh, what a superpower it is.
Brughild choked on her own laughing, and she just went to bed because she's like, if this goes on, I'm going to die. I'm going
Like,
to
you
die
know,
right
he's like,
now.
he's like,
But she walks inside. She's like, okay, I need to stop laughing.
wow,
now."
you're not gonna get Gareth while he's actually
Wait.
drunk. I'm
And
surprised.
then she walks in and she sees Gareth and she starts laughing again. She was fine.
Gareth, you turn your head to the right and just look at Brooklyn walk into that section of the room, and then she's just laughing at you, and then turns around and walks outside again.
Well, she probably has to sit somewhere. Like,
Tonight you
in
learn
the
that
inn.
Fire Spray Ray loves puns, but he might just love the fact that it's making fun of somebody.
making
Aggressive
weird-
humor.
We're
Yeah.
now
Why-
good
why-
friends.
why Spray Ray? Wait a second. What?
Fire Spray
We are
Ray's
now
been
good
outside.
friends.
The
We're
Umber's been
smoking
having
with
this.
Ray.
Yeah, smoke.
Yeah,
with
Umber's high as a kite.
Umber is high as a fucking kite.
That's why this is happening.
I can't. I mean, Valerie eventually finds somewhere to sleep. There's plenty of rooms open. She's given the pick of the house essentially, but that
She
door
just
is-
pouts at her. She just pouts at the room she was used to got taken from her.
The mouse also mimics your pout.
Mm.
Sitting beside her, mimicking her emotions.
Valerie,
Yes.
something about this setting that you should know. In this setting, familiars can be created.
Oh. What does that mean?
It means that the mouse actually is mimicking your pout. That's not a joke.
Oh.
It stands up on its hind legs and it tries to cross its arms as well.
This mouse is my best friend.
And you
That's
look
really
at
rude
it,
to Azarine,
and
but
it looks-
since she
it looks up at you.
ruined your-
We're just both crossing our arms, sitting on the bed. The mouse and Valerie look at each other, and then they look back at the floor, and then both let out a long sigh.
eventually the night is starting to draw to a close. Gareth probably gets shit-faced out of his mind.
He is shit faced, but I mean, he doesn't go to sleep actually.
But
he continues to try to carve, but after this shit with the fucking tiefling continues, this fucking tiefling.
He can't hear her. She's outside.
No, he can.
Oh, he can.
Umber comes
Every-
in and beats them every now
Every time she like thinks of one, she just like gets up, walks into the inn, says it, and then walks back out.
Wiggle starts laughing again and repeating it until Umber comes back and says another one.
And he kind of realizes like he has messed up too many times on the cartoon that he was working on, so he just grumbly like pockets it and just starts. And he just grabs his sword and just walks out of the bar.
Oh shoot! Here comes Gareth. It's a full moon. He's a Wereth.
I'm going to go train, and that's all he says. And he turns and he leaves.
How dare you leave Miyamoto out of the midnight training session?
He said it, and Miyamoto's there.
Miyamoto stands up and grabs his sword and he stumbles out the door after Gareth.
I don't think I think they're too drunk to have swords.
Being
I'm not-
drunk. Okay, being drunk and combining a katana with it is never a fun college experience.
We'll see what happens come
I'm
the
not-
morning.
I'm
when
not-
Don't
those
go
two-
find alcohol
He
at a
didn't say I'm
katana.
going to go spar. He's going to go train. So he's
Yeah,
That's the last time you saw Gareth and
In One
Miyamoto
Piece.
tonight. That's their final act, I think. Umber, Ray, and Brookild and Valerie. What do you like? The night wraps up.
Yeah.
All right. Eventually, Umber is shooed. Ray is an old hat at this, so he is like you're doing these puns, but you like realize too late that he's just been leading you like walking down the streets back to your house, and then he just opens the door and he just like holds out like a small sandwich in the room, and you like go to take it, and he just shuts the door, and you're just back in your house again. And
Incredible.
Ray is going to go to bed inside of his turtle house. His Ghibli turtle house.
Wait, I thought of one more.
You open the door.
You can't. You don't know where I am.
No, this one's for Brooke.
Shout it, shout it as
This,
well.
this is just for Brookild and Ray. They'll give it
Brookild
to you.
wakes up in a cold sweat, repeating.
Gareth, you are truly one of a kind, and will never meet another man like you. You're rareth.
Ray shuts the door. And he laughs terribly, cackling through the town as he goes back to his Ghibli house. You guys are technically long resting, so
This
expend your
big
hit
red
die.
man was roasted into nothing more than ash.
I need to hit die. Okay.
Azrin's getting some work done up in that room. They're filing their taxes right now. You recover half of your
I'm
hit
gonna
die
use, like,
on a long rest,
all-
and you can use as many as you'd like.
Oh shit, I have all of my hit dice.
Valerie has become very tanky lately because she achieved level 5 very quickly.
Mhm.
Because she literally has not bought a single thing this entire fucking game except for rations
Actually,
once.
I
Oh,
can
cool.
afford a
That's
level
nice.
5 level up now.
If
Do
you
I
want,
get
you can do it.
all of my hit die back? Or do I
No,
only
you
get
only
half?
recover half. Half
Okay.
of your total.
half of my total?
So you're 4, so you recover 2. I think you're level 4.
Yeah.
So you recover 2, and then you can use as many as you want.
What do I get at 5th?
You can use and recover in any order. So like if
Yeah.
recovering would put you like over your cap, then use some first and then recover your 2.
I'm only gonna go down because I had 5 hit die. So I didn't use any.
Well
Ooh.
then, I mean, you can use some hit die and then you could recover 3. It's up to you. You can choose to either use your hit die and then recover, or recover and then use your hit die. I don't know why you would do the latter, but
I'll do the first then, which puts me back at 5.
yeah, perfect. That should be how it works. Ideally, if you guys take a few days off after being really hurt and strung out, the idea is that you are doing that. You're like, tonight I'm going to use some, and then I'm going to recover some, and then I'm going to use some, and then I'm going to recover some, just like that back to back. And so it'll take you. The idea is that it just might take like 2 or 3 days to fully recover back to full HP, rather than just, oh, hey, I took a 7-hour nap, I'm good. I can kill God again.
Meanwhile, our team wakes up from a 7-hour nap and they're like, oh god.
Oh God, my leg is still broken. Like Brookild still wakes up in that cast. By
I
the way,
still have an
Valerie,
Aldrich Beast in my shoulder.
Valerie and Brookild,
Yeah.
do you spend the night, quote unquote, attuning?
I will.
Am I able to attune when being completely fucking shitface?
I think so, because you didn't fail in your Constitution saving throws or anything. Like, you're not exhausted. or
Oh,
anything like
they're
that.
Okay.
they're
Sure.
high together
I have
and just
no
working
reason-
together to figure this shit out.
So like sober, it's just like, oh, I don't know where this is from. High, it's just like, okay, but what if?
Yeah, Brookild spends the first hour before going to bed. She's like, "Well, I'm
The
not
higher
tired yet."
order.
Yeah, she's seeing through time.
Pun!
Literally just drunk high ramblings to each other about what the amulet could mean.
They probably don't even understand
They
each
accidentally
other because like
attune.
they're so fucking wasted, and like the drunker Brookild gets, the less understandable she is. Like she's just like, I catch him more night, get a fire guts, I catch you. I just made for catch you.
It's another like it's a true dialectal shift into just another language by the end of the night. Yeah, but you spend like an hour just sort of like quote unquote short resting and then transitioning into a long rest once you finally
caboose
pass out. Yeah, with
what
that
did you-
caboose. Valerie,
Yes.
You have a firebrand charm. It takes an attunement slot so long as it's on your person, it's on your clothes, and it's attuned to you. You're resistant to fire.
What's it called?
Firebrand charm. The history and lore of this, or why this thing exists, you don't know. But in the night, while you're attuned to it, you feel very cold, and you kind of become like sensitive to the fact that like, I actually think I could probably just like touch that candle and I'd be fine.
Can she touch the candle?
Yeah.
You know she would do it.
She grabs the candle and just places her hand over it.
It would normally do 1 damage to you, and when we have 1, it's just rounded down to 0. Valerie just holds her hand over the flame, and it doesn't hurt her or burn her or anything.
This is such a crazy experience when she's high.
Whoa.
No
Brookhild,
idea what's happening.
you have a clover charm, and though you have deduced what it does, I don't know if it's useful to you. No matter
Okay,
what,
what
on your
is it?
turn, as a bonus action, if you know the spell, Healing Word, you can always cast it as a bonus action, even if you used another high-level spell on your turn.
Oh,
That's great.
That's,
That's amazing. Thank you. No, it's not. I'm probably gonna give it to Azarine or something. Let me just. What does it do? Bonus.
As a
can
bonus
cast
action, you're
Healing
always
Word.
guaranteed to be able to cast Healing Word as a bonus action, even if you have already cast another spell on your turn.
Okay.
Normally, you're only allowed to cast 1 spell on
Yes,
a cantrip,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
this breaks that
Okay.
rule.
Okay.
And when you're attuned to it, it glows, and like it's green sparks like come off it. Like this is very clearly a powerful artifact.
Restorative magic is not something that Brugel has any experience with, so she's probably just like,
Yeah, that's like Valerie or
Okay,
Azarine
like,
or Quill, but like he might not stick around. We'll see.
I mean,
Quill is dead.
Quill died. His soul got sucked out. Like,
We hard cut to
none
the
of
far
your
side
concern.
room.
There's no noises.
There's no
Just
noises
that.
at all. No, it's just Quill, like sitting,
staring at this
lying ramrod straight on the top of the bed. He's fully clothed, and Azarine is just like wrapped around him and passed the fuck out. And he's just staring at the ceiling.
Should have listened to me.
What have I done to deserve these things? The
What a-
morning
what a
comes.
roll.
We'll see what else happens in that room is a mystery. But the morning comes. People wake up in turn. Probably some people tired. Gareth and Miyamoto. Do you two wake up back to back, lying in like a field somewhere? Like both of your swords, like just like rested over your shoulders, like lying, like Dark Souls resting at the bonfire style.
Sure, fuck it, why not?
Sure, all right. Just wondering. I mean, I wasn't sure if you guys are gonna stop in the night, but yeah, throughout the night, there's just you two not sparring, but going through various training regimen. Like your I don't remember what they're called. They're called kata in.
Well, and yeah, but it's not kind of. It's literally just like stance
Yeah.
training, weight training, like that sort, like just form training.
Tip-top shape.
Gareth is like, I almost died, and I also got in the fucking mech, so I'm gonna fucking push weights. Like, I'm gonna push plates. That's a great idea.
Fucking gets fucking focuses them, gets them fucking ready to go. It's calming. But yeah, Gareth and Miyamoto are coming back to the town where you guys are I guess getting ready to go. I think Azarine is gonna wake up, and there's just a passed out Quill in her bed.
She like sits up, bolts straight up, and moves to the farthest corner away. Uh-oh.
Worry not, young miss.
Wasn't he passed out?
I think that wakes him up.
Oh.
Just Azarine kind of like darting. But yeah, he stands up. He's fully clothed. And he has his-
Valerie knocks in an irritated fashion. My stuff is still in there. I need it.
There's Valerie's fucking knocking at the door.
I slowly open the door.
Valerie just like
She's like-
opens it immediately and walks past Azuri.
She is wide-eyed, like her entire face is just purple. And she's like,
Not the blonde you expected to see in your room.
what?
Copper Bell!
Capital! At any rate.
She like is. She doesn't know words right now.
Well, good morning, and Quill leaves.
Gareth has gone back upstairs to grab his stuff, and he sees Quill leaving and hearing Azurine kind of upset, and he's like, "I told you that you didn't want to do it."
You're very right, my good sir. You are very correct.
Everything that you are terrified of, Azurine, is probably reality. She just then quiets down and continues rustling through her stuff.
I don't know what that means.
That's so fucking ominous, Valerie.
This is
I don't know
the
what
worst
that
thing Valerie has ever said. This is the most intimidating thing that Valerie has ever said.
Valerie,
Outside,
please.
Ray is fitting up the giant turtle with its bit and bridle.
Needless to say, there is still a chainsaw going on in the upper stairs.
Brughild is passed out. There's a chainsaw happening upstairs. Yep, there it is. The horrors. The townsfolk are kind of like giving Ray like a sack of like flour and grains and a few other things that he could use, as well as some food for Bessie. And he begrudgingly is like, "Yeah, you put it in the back. Yeah, I don't need your hands out. Oh, yeah, put that over there."
Valerie, as your friend, please tell me that didn't happen. And
I
nothing
don't know,
happened.
you locked me out of my own room.
Oh
Wish I could tell you that everything didn't happen, but I kind of need eyes to see those things.
no. What did I do?
Only time will tell.
Gareth with his sack on his back, he just kind of leans in, he's like, "Next time you should just listen to me." Gareth just stands straight up and he leaves.
I only had 2 drinks. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
Miyamoto, as Gareth leaves, just goes, "Ah, yes, you should. Gareth is a very wise man." And he also picks up a sack and then leaves as well.
That's rich coming from Miyamoto.
He is one of the smartest men I have ever met.
Azurine looks like she's
I'll
going.
leave you to your thoughts, Valerie.
Azurine looks like she's going to cry.
Outside, people are getting ready to bid you guys farewell. Quill is in the bottom of the room, kind of like hastily making a breakfast for himself the way he usually does. He puts on he has an apron on. He hastily makes food as well. Umber, you're here.
Where am I?
You're amongst the town, wherever you want to be, amongst the town folk.
I imagine I'm just helping out the town folk. Just like helping out, just doing stuff, repairs, putting stuff back from when it was stolen.
Yeah, you've recovered a lot of stuff, including a lot of things that are from Alfield. But they're unfortunately yours now.
Umber just kind of humps
Okay.
at it, and then she doesn't quite know where to put it, but she just tries to find some storage room.
Okay. Ray is already on the turtle bus. Quill and Azurine are inside, hastily getting a breakfast together.
Oh fuck! Wait, what? A turtle?
There's a gigantic tortoise,
You've seen this turtle
The
since
turtle
day
bus.
It's
Oh yeah.
and on the top
Oh,
of its
yeah.
shell is like attached or hollowed out. You're not quite sure. Is a small cabin room.
Yeah,
and
we
a
ride
bench
in
on the
a
front
turtle now.
that Ray has a fixed reins to. This Githyanki drives a turtle.
Gareth is nearby, like he has his breakfast rations, like whatever, like some of his rations mixed with whatever the inn keeper gave him. But he's just like, exchanging pleasantries and semantics with Mora. Right, like he's like, because I mean, like like planning stuff and who should be in charge of all like the militia and how it should be handled.
Sure. Why don't you roll
yeah.
one final intelligence, but with advantage, as you depart your final wisdom.
Hey, I'll take that.
Brookhild, if nobody comes to get you, like eventually Miyamoto would come to get you. Yeah, with a 14, you feel pretty confident that you've given them you've written down
But
information.
also pleasantries, you know?
Yeah,
right?
you're doing a polite goodbye.
Yeah. And that's where he is if anyone interacts with him.
Well, eventually Brookhild is roused by Miyamoto. Azrin, do you have anything you want to talk to about Quill while you have this moment, or?
Azreen is like
You could
sheepishly
wait
like
also, but
in the like sitting at the table, like hands in her lap, and she's like looking at the table. I'm sorry.
Well, miss, you have nothing to apologize for. Besides simply perhaps snoring every now and then. What is that god-awful racket?
It's the dwarf.
Friend.
Damnable. Oh.
I don't know what happened.
Nothing happened, my dear fellow. Nothing at all.
Are you sure?
Yes, oh, I'm quite sure.
Okay. It doesn't happen often.
Yes, you should be more careful with your drink. We have a long journey ahead of us. Perhaps you should lay off the sins of the devil's liquids.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm not doing that ever again. It only leads to bad things.
Quill looks off into the distance.
That's what they all say.
I almost.
For nothing happening, you seem a wee bit troubled.
I mean, I don't remember what happened.
Perhaps you just shouldn't drink at all, Azarine.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it
not
was
doing that again.
fun and fine to see you having such a good time. But I don't want you waking up every morning so concerned if you can't remember the night before.
Gentlemanly.
At this point, it's only happened twice.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to finish up breakfast and get back on the bus.
Okay.
How does he
I'm
know
gonna...
what a bus is?
He's from the future. I don't know if you guys figured that out yet. Huh?
Okay.
I'm gonna go get Brookhild. And I go upstairs and I knock on the door.
That doesn't work. You open the door.
I open the door.
You open the door. You
I-
pick up the nearest chair.
No!
You body Brookhild with it. You
No!
shatter it over the back of her head, and it barely
No!
rouses her.
No, I shake her a little bit.
A little bit?
Brookhild.
Just a little bit?
And when that doesn't work, I do it again. Harder.
Hold the mattress onto the floor, like.
You're gonna have to man.
And she screams.
Brunhild wakes up like just. I'm pretty like. It's all like she's got an Eldritch Blast ready, you know, like she's just like.
I tried to be gentle, but you wouldn't wake up.
Don't you ever do that to me? How did? Wait, and she looks at Azarine, and one of her eyebrows slowly goes up.
You hear
She like
Well, you had fun
immediately
last
like
night?
she immediately tenses. According to him, nothing happened. So
She just kind of stares. She's just like,
I don't know what you're implying.
She's like, she lets it go, but Brunhild just like, runs her hands along her face, like, you know, like stretching her eyes and just like, what time is it?
You really shouldn't stretch your eyes. It'll give you wrinkles. It's almost time to go.
What time is it?
What time is it?
11:45.
11:45.
I would like to go to the nearest. Well, I assume the rest of the folks are outside getting ready, right?
Yeah, but you have like 5-10 minutes.
No, yeah, I just want to yell at Gareth. Why do you get up so early? Why are you like this? Why are you like this?
It's almost noon.
There's more people than the big guy outside. Valerie is still on top of the tortoise combing her hair.
If I had my way, we would have left way sooner.
It's not like I slept
Just to
that
get ready.
well.
Cole takes out his pocket watch and he opens up the face and kind of looks at the time, a little bit confused. And when it was like, why you get up so early? And he opens up his pocket watch. He's like, what?
Yeah, like Gareth was like, it's literally 11. Like it's almost noon.
Quill nods, satisfied that his watch is actually still keeping proper
Yeah.
time.
Brugil just mumbles and whines and just packs her stuff
Sure.
and she heads downstairs.
Back in
with
Kirith,
Azarine.
we would used to go mining at 5 a.m.
That's not a real hour.
That's not real, Brugil says as she gets off the turtle bus.
Just get your stuff.
Of course it's real, you just stay up past it.
Azarine, Quill, Valerie, Miyamoto, Gareth, Brugil, and Firespray Ray at the helm aboard the turtle bus. And there are several townsfolk around.
Does Moira say anything to me, or is that it?
As she approaches you guys, and yeah, we're not done yet with the pleasantries.
Okay.
Moya steps forward with Umber and just says, well, thank you for all you have done for us, and good luck on your journey, whatever it may be.
Many thanks, Miss Moira. Thank you for your hospitality.
Valerie leans over the turtle. Glad to help.
We did have one final gift to give, though, before. We have no more money to give you, but we do have this small, call it a contraption that we have used.
Gareth raises an eyebrow.
A pair of tired gray eyes pops up from a window.
She produces like a small, it looks like you see like a pot and a pan and like a few other cooking utensils all kind of like neatly packed into this small bag that is very hyper dense with supplies and cooking, like a spit roast, sort of like Monster Hunter style, like a folding spit roast and stuff like that.
Damn.
And she hands it over to you. And she goes, this should be a much better way to take care of your foods and whatnot on your journeys.
Gareth kind of looks at it kind of awkwardly because he's just used to
Eating mashed
meals
potatoes,
ready to eat,
soldier
like,
grits.
Yeah. Gareth has Gratian MREs, apparently, and that's
Like,
all he does.
He's like, it's good. It's good food, but I'm sure we could find a good use for this.
If the soldier won't eat it, I will.
Well,
I won't say no to that.
it's just a
This is
fine way
amazing.
to better produce your foods. But, I did have a question for Umber.
Oh.
For Umber.
Yes, indeed, Umber.
Hmm?
You've done well by this village, but I can't help but wonder if perhaps you feel constrained by its boundaries. Will you be going alongside these adventurers to escort them to the gates of Alexandria?
I elbow
No,
Gareth
no.
in the ribs before he says anything.
The
Valerie's
large,
eyes
the
light up and
large
she's
swordsman
still
man
up.
has said that apparently they are always looking for people to join them on their heroic adventure of saving innocence, I think. And Miyamoto is just like beaming with a smile. He's like, aha! And he nods.
Who said that?
Valerie puts an arm
Gareth
around
turns
me.
around, he's like, who said that? Who?
Shut up!
Valerie puts an arm around Miyamoto. The more the merrier.
Miyamoto whispers, he's like, what? She is a strong warrior. She will be doing her family proud to travel.
Yeah,
and
what
fight
the warrior
evildoers."
said.
Valerie, no, like Gareth's like kind of almost turning around, like he's like trying to like he's trying not to like actually say anything, but like he is trying to almost communicate to Valerie about she is innocent, but we are wanted. Sure, we could take Miyamoto.
We're also
and
innocent,
Quill.
Gareth.
We are guilty sinners,
What?
Gareth says.
I'm guilty of many things.
Well,
And then he whips himself.
Oh, no.
I said fugitive.
No, that's
Like-
fine.
Valerie looks at Gareth and she just shrugs.
Umber looks at Moya and then looks at the party and gives them a smile and then
Snortles.
turns back to Moya.
Snortles,
Yeah?
you're formally invited to join this game if you want.
Aw.
Just so you know.
Very sweet.
We love you, Snort.
Alas, I do not have the time in my schedule.
Oh.
But Umber... but Umber looks at the party and looks at Moya.
Now I actually feel bad because I was just playing because I said yes to you. I was playing the Gareth like not wanting this, but I wanted you. Fuck. Now I feel bad.
The invitation still stands. Whenever you feel like you want to be able to jump in, we can make something work out. If you wanted to either do Umber or something else, but you're welcome to join if you wanted to with Umber. But if you don't have the time, then that's fine. I understand. We already kind of talked about this out of character, but
Yeah.
the option's still there. But at any rate, Umber, please.
I
Continue
would
what you were
love
saying.
to, but Umber looks at Moya and looks at the party and goes, as much as I would love to join you guys right now, and as much as I'd love to see Alexandria myself and get them to open up their gates, I think I still have a little more work to do here. But if you guys will have me later on, when my work here is done, perhaps we might just meet again.
Send us a letter.
We'd be happy to see you again.
Umber nods. Good luck on your journey, and
Grunhild gives her the most genuine smile that anyone has ever seen her smile before.
It's amazing because Gareth's not looking behind him, so he doesn't see it. Anyway.
Umber smiles back at her and goes, "Be safe and
And
take Kareth."
Hey, can I
I slapped her.
Hey, is that
it? No, it doesn't. Believe it or not, it's crazy.
Damn, that's wild.
It's wild. The 24 is not high enough to hit Umber's AC. It's nuts.
You'll hear from me again, but in the meantime, have fun. Send us letters of your journeys every now and again.
Oh, we will.
Of course.
Farewell, warrior. Fight strong. Be the great champion you need to be for your village.
Thank you,
Okay.
Miyamoto.
Word it better myself.
I'll give you my word that we will see that Alexandra opens their gates once more.
Oh, you better. Oh, yeah.
Aren't you being a little ambitious there, big
Quill
boy?
Quill kind of sweats and he's sort of like, oh.
Umber looks at Quill directly in the eye and just goes, "There's no doubt in my mind that you all will be able to get them to open them."
Quill
And
looks
just
back
like
at
he
him and
doesn't,
smiles.
she doesn't blink.
Yeah, he half smiles. He does a little like, of course, smirk. Like, yes.
With confidence, Mallory smacks him on the back.
And the turtle begins to slowly pull forward. Takes one large step after another, kind of wading through the dirt and the sands.
Can I ask what the movement speed of the turtle is?
It is not fast.
I mean, it's faster than I think normal movement. I
It's
think
it's between 20 to 50 feet per round if it needed to be quantified in a sense like that, but like it's technically only has a marching speed, and that marching speed is slow compared to like, you know, horses and wagons and
I
this,
just
that,
wanted
and
to
the
check
other
of them.
thing.
It's like that awkward thing when you say bye to someone and you both go the same direction, except one of those people is a turtle.
That's wild.
It's pretty rough, yeah. But yeah, eventually with the townsfolk waving and Moya saying her goodbyes, the turtle bus and its occupants begin to continue their journey towards the northern area of the Kingdom of Alexandria. Eventually, New Haven and its occupants disappear over the horizon. Farewell, Umber.
Farewell.
Bye
Get
bye.
the fuck out of our Discord chat now. No.
I am now going to.
I can't.
I'm going to now kick
What?
Umber.
Well, you can't actually kick her because then you can never re-add her if you kick her.
I'm not going to kick Umber. But
What if the Kenku comes back?
You're right, I
Oh,
can't
no.
risk it. But yeah, you can. If you needed to leave, you can. I'm just gonna take these chuckle fucks for like another 5 to 10 minute ride, and then we're gonna stop ourselves.
I'm just gonna listen in because
Sure.
I actually have nowhere to go. No.
The turtle bus continues northward, and everyone's going to do that classic. We need a survival check from somebody and a perception check from someone else. Because
You know what the caboose do.
hey guys,
Mm.
everyone, your rations now weigh half as much.
Thank God!
Yes.
Well, I
turn
mean, I
them-
didn't really need that, but
reduce
thanks. I
them-
appreciate
Shut
it.
your
You're
mouth,
welcome.
Gareth.
Reduce your rations.
Yeah,
They
shut
went from
up.
2 pounds to 1 pound.
Outside of the turtle.
Shut your mouth, Gareth.
Thanks to the superior cooking efficiency that of the supplies that has been given to you to New Haven, rations now weigh half as much.
I went from 136 pounds to 94.
And I don't.
I
I am
Hopefully,
no longer encumbered.
yeah, nobody should be
What the
encumbered anymore.
58?
And the reason is because I think that I've done a lot of research, and that's how it should be. Now we're going to continue on this journey of magical, mystical adventuring. You continue northward. There's no real defined roads to follow
During
anymore. Mhm.
The voyage, I would like to hit up Azarine.
Yes. Azreen is like concentrating in the corner, like eyes closed, like,
Oh, I don't want to bother her. Azarine?
Huh? Yes.
I don't want to bother you if you're doing anything important, but
No, not at all. What do you need?
actually, guess what? I mean, Brukel doesn't care. I don't know why I said that, but
Okay.
she whips up the four-leafed clover chart, and she hands it over to Azreen. I couldn't tell. I'm not quite certain what this does, but it's just not the type of magic I'm used to, and I'm fairly certain it would see better usage in your hands.
This is really nice of you. What's the catch?
Oh, you have such low opinions of me. Ugh, cannot believe.
I've been traveling with you for over a month now. I think it's been 2 months now.
It's not
I-
an opinion if it's correct. Garrett says from the corner.
I
Come
wasn't gonna
on,
say
it was
it.
General
beautiful.
direction.
I wasn't gonna say it, but they did.
Come on, it was a cute gesture. Just accept the fucking amulet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you know what it is?
It's some manner of charm, and magic from it
Hey.
seems to be what?
Well, no, I was just gonna ask, can Gareth look up in his hat?
I mean, sure.
Look up in his head if he knows what that thing is. Like I had to try to identify
Yeah.
it. You can roll Arcana.
Well, like,
but I mean-
Actually,
He could
Um,
ask her.
Actually, I've been working on some stuff, and I think I can figure this out.
Some manner of healing magics. Nothing I personally can use. So
I'm gonna. I sit down.
Mm-hmm.
thought it would be better to give it to you than to sell it.
I sit down, and oh no. Does anyone have a pearl worth at least 100 in gold?
No.
What?
Absolutely not. What are you?
Oh, for like identify?
Yep, I have
just need-
identify.
Yeah, but you just need to spend an hour with this and you'll figure it out. So like, I wouldn't waste.
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
because it's a ritual, so I don't need.
Yeah. Like
Alright.
I could attune to it, so you can definitely attune to it.
Yeah, you can. If you attune to it, you'll find out what it does. If it's a low level
I just
magic
assume
effect.
because like healing word isn't something that Brugil knows. She probably wouldn't know exactly what it does because it's not magic that she
Mhm.
has even potential access to.
Hmm.
So
Flavor wise, Brookhill doesn't know exactly what it does. Gameplay
Yeah.
mechanic wise,
Yeah,
we as a
it's,
party are aware of what it does.
All right.
I'm certain it'll help you. And I mean,
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. I'll
I'll
put this
appreciate
to.
when you save my ass with it.
I mean, I can save your ass without it, but this definitely helps more.
She noticed. It's like it was everybody paying attention? And she's just like, I didn't do something nice. Don't look at me. Like
This is a very small little bus.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Gareth made a comment about it earlier already.
I know, but it's like she spat in his general direction. Just like
Yeah.
It's okay. When we eventually stop for a rest, I can try something else that I figured out. It's been weird.
Well, what?
Okay, I'm sorry. What's going on here? Sorry. Why are we
what's going
insulting
on?
each other?
What-
What's happening? What's going? I
Oh, we're
blinked.
not insulting each
No,
other.
Oh,
I
good.
just
Except, well, like Gareth made a comment and Brahil was pissed off, but like that's normal. That's not
Sure.
insulting.
If you attune to an item, you learn what its gameplay mechanics do. If you were to cast Identify, you would learn the lore.
okay.
So that's what the difference is. And also, if there's any
Like-
hidden thing that's like, oh, if this unlocks, if I behead somebody with a sword, it unlocks its secret ability that you wouldn't know from just attuning to it. Stuff like that is like what you get with Identify.
I'm gonna attune to it, and then I guess
Okay.
I have to wait until we get to the next town
Okay.
in order to
Properly
cast
identify
Identify as a ritual.
Yeah, unfortunately, a ritual means that you don't have to use a spell slot, but you do have to still provide the spell component.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we'll get back to that later. I don't know how much money you have, but I thought you were like, oh, I might level up. So we'll worry about that after the game's over. We're gonna end soon. Just kind of
It's
warn
not like
everybody.
you can't use it if you haven't identified it. You can still use it. You just need to tune, which is
it's
free.
just lore stuff.
All right.
Yeah, but
That's fine.
everyone's going to everyone sits back and does whatever they do to pass the time as the turtle bus continues forward through the now kind of it's a waste still. It's now desert. Like the farther north you go, the greenery of New Haven and whatnot is just completely gone. It's just all desert here. It's dry. It's arid. Every couple of hours or so, you guys kind of like see some dark storms on the horizon. And the ground feels kind of wet and soggy in places, even though it's so dry. Like some kind of storm
This
has
is
blown through
really
here.
ruining my hair and my skin. Ugh,
It's terrible.
horrible.
There's gonna be a few more. There's a little while next to your destination. Did I get those rolls yet from people? I needed someone to do a survival and someone to do a perception.
No.
No, we did not.
Who wants to be responsible for these?
Perception.
What does that
I'm gonna-
caboose do, Valerie?
No,
Oh.
There we go.
Everything's
Valerie's
fine.
back.
Everything is a-okay.
Anyone want to do the survival check that isn't me?
I have +1 to survival.
I have +2.
Probably
I
for the
mean-
best if Azrain does it.
All right.
Yeah, because I have a 0.
12.
How am I better at survival than Gareth?
Listen, he's very good at fighting, but he's not meant to be away from a supply line for very long. With a 12 and a 6, everything is fine. No, Azrain, you've been kind of like on the lookout for like you're attuned to animals and stuff like that. You spent a lot of time traveling around. You're actually quite world wary for the most part, so you kind of actually know a thing or two when it comes to survival. So you kind of guide people around like the where Ray is not used to the area because it's changed since he's been last year here. You're able to kind of like provide him with some answers. And Valerie has just been kind of trying to keep an eye out on the weather, but everything is just so dark and stormy and swirling clouds. There's really like there is no reading it. Like it's just like it's gonna rain, maybe, I don't know, windy. Like it's so hard.
It sure is outside.
It sure is outside.
There certainly is a weather going on.
3 days go by of this trekking through this expanse. Mark down 3 rations, everyone. Which at this point is like you guys providing yourselves with actual food. You have cooking spits and a pot to hang if you want to. It's all condensed.
Hey Gareth. Just kidding. Yeah, I still have 18 rations, but
I was about to fucking say.
I'm gonna run out before you do for sure. So
You get
just be
You will.
mentally ready.
you get a taste of what appears to be something more green. Some patchy grass here or there, some like seagrass almost. Who wants to roll the 1d12 of death and be responsible for what happens next?
I did it last time. I
I'll do it.
got sexy samurai and old man. So
He's not old. He's 35.
I know.
I'm 35. He says again.
Yeah.
1d12.
1d12, whoever it's gonna be.
All right. 11.
Oh, okay.
Sexy.
Interesting. Yeah, in the back, like Miyamoto just like spends his time like sharpening the swords and talking, and it's like a few days go by, but it's just like small conversations here and there. It's kind of weird to go from big high octane battle, life or death, to like mellow, just kind of traveling out in the wilderness.
Ghibli turtle?
Ghibli turtle. Every now and then there'll be a stop where you guys kind of like make camp, and like Miyamoto will be, sharpening his blade and looking up at the clouds that pass by when it's a bit clearer. No storm has really descended yet. Every now and then there's a break, mostly in the later afternoons. And that's where him and Valerie will actually stand and go off to the side. And Valerie just has her rapier and maybe a short sword or two. And Miyamoto
Yeah, I have
is-
nothing to train in Eastern techniques besides a rapier or a
Yeah,
short sword.
so
Steal
like,
Garrett's great sword.
so he'll be like, oh yes, put your feet like this and get a low stance, and he'll like show you how to like just go through the basic chopping motions essentially in very basic 101. It's a different technique that Valerie has never experienced before in her entire life.
Do
So
I
it's
make
hard
some
to-
roll to see how well I'm picking up what he's putting down?
Yeah, this would just be a generic intelligence check.
That's flat.
That caboose dude.
Sorry.
Oh god.
Like the caboose do.
The caboose do what the caboose usually does, which is crit at just the right times in the opposite direction. Unfortunately. It's just tough going. It's new and different too. You can remember it and you think you might be able to like mimic it again on your own for training purposes, but you're just not there yet. Your body's like
She's
not
like-
used to it.
There's like no sign of like, oh, I give up on this. Like she's very determined, but she's getting very frustrated, but trying not to let Miyamoto figure it out.
You barely with a critical failure, you barely contain your frustration, but you are containing it. But yeah, everyone kind of is going to continue forward. Another few days passes. You continue.
I would like to bother Quill about whatever the hell he's writing. He seems to be scribbling a lot.
He's always scribbling. Yeah, he's in the back of the turtle bus. He's been sitting on top as he kind of just has his journal out. Off on the side, he has his various items kind of like spread out across the surface of the shell. The shell's pretty flat on top, so it's actually quite serviceable as just like a deck, essentially. And so him and Quill, Miyamoto and Quill will be up on top and just do their own thing. You guys can be around where you want to be. The turtle will kind of go slow, even. Some people might be able to like just walk alongside every now and then when the turtle's not like making beating pace. So you don't even need to be on the turtle at 24/7.
Not with my tiny legs.
Not with your tiny legs. Maybe like Gareth Miyamoto or Valerie even. But yeah, if you wanted to approach him, he just has his stuff later. He has like his watch. He has some books that he keeps with him that he's just like dusting off and making sure they're all clean. And he has his journal. Oh, and his medal, his medallion.
Oh, it's out now. It's visible now because that wasn't a thing before.
It's out now. He has his coat's off. It's kind of hot here, so he can't wear his duster. It's more like a winter jacket, kind of like gray coat sort of situation. So it's not very conducive to this climate. But yeah, he has all of his stuff out. And he's just kind of writing in. But you can approach him. What do you say? What do you do?
So, you a writer or something?
Oh, of a sorts. I like to keep detailed notes.
She leans to peek over.
Well,
Oh, sorry. Is this private or anything?
no, I suppose not. I suppose anything that's written is somewhat written to be read.
He'll show it to you, but what you see is like various drawings of Miyamoto and
Fanfics.
Gareth in sexual it's just notes. It's
God damn
it's
it.
it's like the date. It's whatever the date is, and then it's a very not dry. It's written with like a little bit of like description to it.
It's
stuff-
efficient.
Yeah, it's stuff that's happened. It's like an actual journal of day-to-day stuff. And then also there's pages where he keeps his personal things out of it. It's literally just like what he's done. But you can tell that he's like reading he's writing stuff that's like happening in the world. Like it's like all fields might have been buried by sand on this day, and he's like trying to like figure out like when that happened. Like almost like it's like a miniature corkboard with like the red strings.
Yeah,
Except
the-
less
the-
conspiracy.
Yeah, the conspiracy board.
Yeah, but it's not as raving. It's like very organized, and it's just sort of like
Yeah.
figuring out what's going on in the world. And you can kind of get like a tell that it's more oriented, less about like stuff that happened in his personal day-to-day life, but like what's happening at large. Why don't you roll a general? Is there a skill for this? I think it would just be a investigation check. The investigation check.
Oh no, guess not.
There's a lot that's going on. He has notes pretty much on everything that he's been involved in, from Allfield being buried by Sand to like Valcon ? To like Kaiser pulls into port and like Dark Eye
Thinking
Prince
about-
supposedly kills high
no.
official, stuff like that.
Oh,
He's
no, say
he's
that
written
now.
down. He's
Oh
got a
no,
lot of
bad
world
reminder.
news.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
she
bad
stops
reminder.
reading.
Yeah, well, 72. You avert your eyes at that point.
She stops reading once she like it's like, oh yeah, the Kaiser pulled. Yeah, that went well. Shit.
But yeah, that's what he keeps notes on, and he just goes, I just wanted to make sure that if
wherever it be required, there'd be a fine record of things happening around this area. I suppose I just can't help but be nosy. Old habits die hard.
You work for some sort of journal or something?
No, I work for no one currently. I'm a freelancer at best and still just a bounty hunter at worst.
She cocks an eyebrow at that because of the medallion.
Roll insight, I guess.
Ah, that's a better roll.
Oh, someone died. Was
It's
that
Umber.
Umber finally taken off? Fair enough. Farewell.
What do you mean finally?
Yes.
With a 17, you can tell he's seemingly truthful. Yes, that's just a humble leftover from times long gone.
I see.
I am a flame knight no longer, but they allow me to keep the medallion.
Well, all right. Just wanted to bother you, is all.
No,
So-
I understand.
Dreadfully boring in here. And
What's a flame knight?
Valerie kind of pipes up off the side.
same hat.
Valerie casting like string out into the desert sea, trying to catch some sandfish. Speaks up off to the side.
The Kingdom of Alexandria is a monarchy, and the people in charge of the highest order of law are the Flame Knights. Supposedly they're all descended from the original 24 soldieries of the great King Alexandros himself.
Sounds like quite a heavy job to take on.
Oh, my dear, indeed, it is quite very difficult, very stressful, responsible for the defense, not on a small scale, but on a grand scale of the entire kingdom at large.
Bigger than, I don't know, taking on some manner of death cult and almost dying in the process, or
Ah,
a little bit
uh-huh.
more political.
Oh, my, well, I did some things like that before, but yes, I suppose more political is right.
No, nobody talked to Quill before, and now he got hotter, and everybody's just like, "Hi, how are you doing?"
I've had this backstory the entire time. I find it
Valerie
strange
just
that
likes
nobody
the
asked
title
before.
Flame Knight.
It
No,
was,
Valerie hears Flame Knight and she's like, "That's anime as fuck."
it's anime as fuck. We were cool as hell, and I am quite proud. No, I've been, we've all been, there's much more than 24 of us now. We're all responsible for different precincts or providences, depending on your high authority. And we were responsible for investigating threats to the kingdom, both inside and out.
Garrett kind of like he's been covered, but he heard conversation below. Like he didn't really catch much of it, but like he heard.
It's a small
Like,
space. Everyone's
yeah,
free to be
yeah.
on this conversation if they want.
Yeah.
He kind of stands up and kind of walks over. And he's like, "I don't remember Flame Knights really being a job you could retire from."
Well, you can tell I'm not advanced in age that far. I just, I was, you've all been quite good to me, and you seem like upstanding fellows. You've proved to be quite go-getters and defenders of the people. I like that, I really do.
Sorry.
I don't know what help I'm going to be to you, though, Pierre. I am afraid indeed, yes, I have been expunged from the title of Flame Knight. I have been exiled.
Brugel leads in. She's like,
Oh.
that's interesting.
Garrett just pushes her away.
Pushes Garuka off screen out of the
off
shot.
Screen. I
That's
see.
rude.
If you don't mind my asking,
I want to slap him on the arm.
what happened?
Roll persuasion, but with advantage. You guys are kind of friends at this point. You guys have been through thick and thin.
Well, good thing that I leveled up because this is gonna be.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Shit. You leveled up? She's level 5? Asrin
I'm
turns
level
around.
5.
Her eyes are glowing gold. Boom.
No.
I see
Only
everything.
got 14.
For her to fail, she'd have to get a 0.
Yeah, okay, with an 18 with the advantage, he kind of like nods and well, you see, it is quite
the title of Flame Knight is a well-protected and well-lavished title indeed. Quite the noble thing indeed, and it's there. People like that are untouchable, almost. I am afraid that I lost somebody very close to me at the hands of a fellow Flame Knight, and so I killed him. I killed him dead. Out of anger and revenge. I suppose the prince took a pity on me, rather than myself being executed for this crime like I assumed I would be. I was given the more unfortunate task of living on outside the gates.
Revenge is quite a scary thing. I've been there myself.
Indeed, I'm not sure if I regret it or not.
It's not good to dwell in the past, they say.
I suppose most days I simply miss whom I have lost.
But I realize like she's paying attention, and it's like, yeah, but like to her, revenge was like, telling someone else that they got cheated on or something. Like her life was always very like gossipy and like low-key. Like nobody murdered each other. So it's just like, yeah, okay.
Oh,
Valerie
I'm
definitely
in that kind of people now.
Valerie definitely understands Quill on this level of ground.
Maybe I should be less of a jerk, because this is the kind of people that kill you when they don't like you. Okay. No worries.
Oh, well, I
I'm
guess
trying to be nice.
Brooke could take that lesson.
But yeah, Quill just sort of he shrugs. He looks kind of sad and somber, but he doesn't seem like about to cry or anything. He seems kind of just serious about what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, no, if Quill cries, I'm killing myself.
No.
Wild.
So in return for this royal decree, I've been allowed to live on, and instead I simply wander from place to place. I can't help but keep my nose out of things, though. I guess the inner inspector in me has yet to die.
I know one like
going
that.
to be barred from Cape Solomon?
I mean, I am unlikely to pass through the gates. I'm not sure if I even want to. I suppose they could only enforce something like that if they could find and see me to do such a thing, and I doubt they're still prowling the streets after 15 years from my presence.
I suppose so.
You're not seen as a criminal if they let you go, though.
Oh, but I'm still exiled.
I see.
We'll find a way.
Huh.
Right?
You seem so fit and ready to try and get me into these gates.
We have a knack for getting ourselves in trouble.
In other people's business.
Forgive me, friends, but I thought we were transient souls in your lives. Me and my samurai fellow here. And Miyamoto kind of shrugs.
I mean, if you want to get off before we get to Cape Solomon, that's
I
up
mean,
to you. I suppose we can't keep you.
I mean, we've been kind of traveling from place to place, under assumptions and just where we feel like we need to go next. Cape Solomon just so happens to be, the place that we have the most clues.
Yes, indeed. Well, I wish you good luck on this venture. I am just not sure if my branch in this fate will come before then or not. But no matter what, I'm hoping
I ain't
and
gonna
rooting
break
for
your
it.
arm over it.
Hmm.
She kind of shrugs.
Tell you what, though, I do have something I suppose I could request if I do not come with you all this journey. It has been long
Absolutely.
since I've been inside the gates of Alexandria, and I am ashamed that they have left Umber and her people without any kind of protection. Once long ago, this province was under their protection. I do not know why they've ramped up their isolationist tendencies so much over the past decade, but I have no privy to such politics anymore. I must ask you a request, and perhaps I can give you something in return. The prince. The dear prince. He was a friend of mine once. I may still have friends and strings that I can pull to get you through the gates if you so desire, hopefully without any kind of incident. Otherwise, I'm not sure it would be possible to get into the gates of Alexandria. They have never been breached in over 1,000 years.
Do we have to go through there to get to Cape Solomon?
Yes.
Unless you wanted to try and swim through the crags or the whirl itself, I don't see any other way. Even the ports are well guarded.
I mean, I probably
Well, we'd
could, but I
definitely
don't
be
think the
appreciative.
others.
Why, good thing we found you then.
The wall of Alexandros spans from the far west all the way to the northeast. And I suppose it is fortuitous that you found me, but I do not ask you. This is a deal. You must make sure that the prince is simply doing all right. Just make sure everything is fine.
We'll definitely
That's-
attempt to seek him out and
that's-
see how he's doing.
I don't know how. I mean, we could give you our best, our word that we would try our best, but I'm
Oh,
unsure
I have
how
a
you will get-
postage... Sir, I have a postage box just outside the gates of Alexandria. There is a small town that has formed. It is an ancient place, really. But the local mail courier service is some of the finest. Petrol's postage is what it is, and I have a box there. I check it every few months or so when I'm back in town. Yeah, I will write it down.
Yes, returning the message to you, but I was saying, getting close enough to that prince.
Oh,
Oh,
all I
please.
ask is that he hasn't been assassinated and that he's doing well. If you can just confirm for me that, I don't need you to go and make sure his pillow is fluffed or anything.
Griggle waves a hand. She's just like, stop, don't worry about it.
I just get little
Leave it
news
to
through
me.
the gates anymore.
Fair enough.
I'll snoop around for you.
Thank you, my dear fellows.
That is one of the things she does well enough.
Well, it takes all sorts to keep a fine oiled machine running.
She's not sure if that's a compliment or not.
That's
It's
really
not.
sad, baby.
She's good with the She's good with the connections. He's good with the brute force, and the two of us, we're just happy to be here.
Mallory just waves as she's tuning her guitar.
I am also happy to be here.
That would make a third of our kind.
I hate all of you.
He's
Love
just
you.
the ride.
Well, that makes two of us.
Well, at any
And
rate,
she points above at Ray. He's just here to give us a ride. That's it.
I think I can help procure your journey to the further side of Cape Solomon. But it is going to be still. You still have quite some time to go, I must warn. The Kingdom of Alexandria is quite large unto itself. But we should be within a few days' time if I'm watching carefully amongst these stars. Shall we continue on our journey? As I suppose we haven't stopped, the turtle keeps on going. But is there anything else you'd like to ask of me while we are still on these topics?
We seem to be in agreement.
I have nothing.
Yeah, no, Gareth shakes his head.
Excellent. I can do some favor pulling, but perhaps at best, if anybody asks any dear questions too close, perhaps you shouldn't tell them that it was a former murderer that has helped you into the Kingdom of Alexandria. I doubt my name will win you favors with everyone.
Oh, don't worry about
We're
it.
not the type to spread personal secrets around. too much.
Brutal kind of chokes on her words a little bit there. That was literally her main occupation, but...
Well, wonderful. I have treated
Mr.
you.
Quill?
Yes.
What is that prince of yours like?
My prince? Oh, he's quite the charismatic soul, humble, mundane. He much preferred to keep himself more on the ground amongst the people than in the lofty chairs and heights of the palace itself, the Palace of
She
Pear.
kind of hides a grimace. She's like, "Ugh, boring.
Sounds like a well-situated man.
The only
Oh, he
prince I
was.
would care about.
Me and him, we grew up together near. Friends for life, I like to think, but I know that has ended quite soon, I suppose, as of a few years back. He was...
I'll remember that.
He was a fantastic man. I looked up to him, and I like to think we both made each other better. And I hope he's doing well without me.
Well, if he's anything like you, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but...
Oh, he is much louder than I. And perhaps more uncouth, even.
Oh,
Well, if he's more unreasonable, then I'd say he's fine with it.
Gareth's getting a weird kind of homesick.
Uncouth?
I should.
Oh, brash, louder, more,
I should
less
go-
to
I
mince
need to-
words.
You alright?
I need to get back to my carving.
Very important.
Okay.
They're all talking about like people they care about, and Valerie thinks about someone for a second, and she gets like a familiar, scared look on her face and begins writing a note immediately.
Helena.
Immediately writing a letter.
Brooke looks at the face. She's concerned for half of a second, and then she's like, "Oh, Helena."
She'll fly out of the fucking like the sky and punch you in the neck, Valerie, if you don't write a
She's
letter right now.
Helena
Helena
will
can
write it on the
literally-
back of the Morrigan.
Helena can out-duel and out-strength Valerie. She's horrifying.
That reminds me, I wonder where my dad's troop ended up.
Well, perhaps you'll get your answer. I know that Cape Solomon is full of Seda and merfolk.
I haven't been around a bunch of Sata in years!
Well,
Usually it's only just me.
good luck. Many decades ago, they all came ashore, and Alexandria took them in before they began the span of hard gates. There's a strong community on the north side.
She's like beaming. She's super excited. I wonder how many other people like me are gonna be there. Oh my gosh, do they have different scales? Or maybe they have different, like, blush colors? I know I have, like, an iridescence to my, like, face and my shoulders, but I don't know if that's, like, common.
Quill is already like, I have well beyond my. This is deeper than my depths go, unfortunately.
The only Sata that I personally know was my dad. That's about it.
Well, good luck in finding him. Hopefully, you can find some friends amongst them.
Isn't
I hope
Ray
so.
Seda?
Nope.
What? You look at me and tell me I'm a fish person.
He says,
Sorry.
Reza
Oh,
Gith
nice.
Yankee,
He's obviously a
which
frog.
Valerie might not know.
She thought they were the same thing.
They easily could have thought they were the same
He
thing.
breathes fire. How is he a fish?
He looks back and just sneers at you.
Yeah, I'm one of a kind, baby.
I'll try not to be offended by your statement.
Hey,
I am
It was
lining
an
your pockets
accident.
after all.
I didn't mean to cause a race war. I'm very
No.
sorry. She goes back to writing.
I am lining your pockets, just letting you know.
yeah, get back in the turtle
Valerie,
bus.
#1 creator of political accidents in this party.
If you all can just do me a favor and mark down another 2 rations.
Got it, boss.
As you cusp the last grassy hill, after the desert has long since left, rain and sandstorms have been battering you for the past few days, but now you hit green. Long lines of long reeds of grass on this field, and it's mostly just prairie and open forests to the left and right of you as you kind of transcend into this more open pasture area. The skies are blue now. The clouds are fluffy and white, and eventually there comes
That
a long hill.
is so relaxing.
It's very relaxing. The green waves,
God.
kind of like the wind, kind of like just makes the reeds kind of blow back and forth, long and overgrown. This isn't land that's manicured by anyone. This is no man's land in the best kind of way. You find a trail eventually, a well-worn dirt path, and even though it is not paved with any kind of cobblestone, it is very clearly a main road. And Ray doesn't seem to have too much issue on walking it. Why doesn't everybody roll a perception check for me real quick?
Perception.
Yep.
That didn't change.
Hey,
I am focusing on my carvings and sad feelings.
Yeah,
The
Gareth has
caboose
the
is
right.
It's only crit fails or crit successes with the caboose.
Valerie, the caboose is powerful only in one direction. Valerie stands up on her tiptoes to see over the horizon first to try and catch a glimpse of the gates of Alexandria. Up ahead, over this cusp of the hill, is just this tremendous wall.
Valerie's like looking out the window, and she doesn't necessarily communicate anything. She just like looks out, and she's like, "Big."
It's a work of art.
Can I see them?
Eventually, you can. Yeah. So it takes some time.
I'm much shorter than Valerie, so
Yeah.
even if I stand on my tiptoes, I can't see them.
It takes a second. Ray's kind of like, well, I guess we're almost here. But you see these tall. These things are like 20 stories tall. Like they're tremendous. Like it's
Shit.
like the Great Wall of China, maybe bigger.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan almost. Yeah, they're huge, and there's this tremendous walls that they're not like beautiful white ivory. Maybe they were at some point. But sandstone has slowly just been worn down over time to a more of more of a beige color, so it stands out a little bit less. It feels more natural. And this wall, there's some forest that brush up against it to the west, but it runs left and right until it's out of sight. The horizon takes it. There's a few people that you see standing up on the wall from afar, Valerie. You can kind of tell this is manned. There is a patrol. And at the front is this tremendous portcullis, this gigantic mouth and maw at the front, and it is closed. But there are smaller portcullises adjacent to it, and every now and then one or two do open to allow certain carriages through. This place that you see in front of the gate is a real town that has been built around the front of it, and on that side of the town is actually a smaller town even of tents. And Valerie, with a 25 critical success perception, you look and some of those things look familiar in the town. The tents seem familiar, the fabric seems familiar, they're waving flags that seem familiar to you as well. That's the flag of Fort Dullahan.
Guys.
What?
Fort Dullahan didn't completely fall, I guess.
Gareth's head shoots up. Excuse me?
Look at the flags in the tents. There's no mistaking it.
With Valerie's guidance, with her 25 perception, everyone is able to see that on the side of the main city, this town is called the Gate of Alexandria, the South Gate of Alexandria, and on the side, adjacent to it, attached on like a growth, is like this tent shanty town, and the flag that flies over it is the flag of Fort Dullahan.
So it's not the inside. It's the one like the side towns that is waving the flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it makes sense considering Fort Dullahan is just a mountain trip away.
We didn't exactly take the straightforward route, I suppose.
True.
We did end up in a swamp area after that day, though.
Brookel just kind of shudders and heads back inside.
I do not believe. I doubt the Inquisition has much presence here, as they're still with Otto.
Doubt it.
This must be the refugees.
The most Inquisition heavy place we've been was where we just run away from.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe there are a couple of the Inquisitioners in there, or
Perhaps a few, but none with authority is my belief.
Inquisition are everywhere. They're like spiders, but...
Well, not within Alexandria, there isn't.
No?
No. Alexandria and Grisha Tapel have not been on the friendliest of terms.
Oh.
So no, there is no formal Inquisition presence within that city nation.
so we should be safe, right?
I don't know
If
what
they
wouldn't
allow
say
us
that.
in.
Unless somebody thinks that your bounty is worth it.
The bounty is still a factor.
The turtle
They
descends down the
may
hill.
not agree, but they might have the same views on law.
I must warn, indeed, lately there's been quite the crackdown on magic, so I hear. I don't know the intricacies of the politics, but you must be warned. I do not know what to expect, and you must be careful. I know somebody inside the gate down there. If I can just simply take an hour or so, I think I can procure what we need.
We'll get you there close and then see you on your way.
I have a terrible feeling about this.
Down the closer you get, you see the city is proper. This town outside the gate does not have a wall. It is not protected in the same sense.
Mhm.
It seems like it's a growth outside the front of the gate, but that became a lot more official, and then even that developed its own little growth in the form of that tent /
How big is
shelter
it? Is
city.
it like a small village or a legitimately standing little city
a
outside?
legitimate town?
Like,
So like I Attack on Titan.
Oh, so it's literally Wall Maria.
Yeah,
Without the wall, like the
Without the
shantytown
wall.
doesn't have a wall.
the shantytown doesn't have its own wall, except reverse, because because the town is on the outside of the wall rather than on the inside, so it's opposite.
Outpost Maria.
Yeah, it's Outpost Maria. But yeah, it's a real town. It's a mesh of different colors. It is not like this uniform brick and mortar sort of thing. There's a riot of colors outside. You get closer and closer, and eventually you realize like there's a dude riding like a griffin off on the side. Like you see a griffin that it is currently tied up to a tree outside.
Have I seen one of those before? Have any of us seen one of those before?
I don't think Valerie has seen
I
one before.
doubt
She
it.
lives in the freaking outback river.
Yeah.
Probably has.
Anybody who is not from either Gracia Tepel or isn't rich probably has never seen one before. Azri
I'm
is the
rich
only
as
one I
fuck.
don't know. Brookfield would have seen one like at a circus, which is a horrible, horrible thing that should be abolished, but unfortunately they still exist in this setting because rich people are terrible and they
I
own
know.
them for
We have
private
fucking
use.
Githyanki at our bachelorette parties. Incredible.
Don't we? Hey, you said you would talk about that.
I
yeah,
forgot that was Ray.
You've probably seen one before just by virtue of like, oh, why don't you look at my prized animal collection that I love to show off to people? You know somebody who used to own one actually, Brookhild.
An alive one or
An alive person, yes, an alive one.
No, I mean an alive griffin or
Yeah,
like
yes.
like taxidermy griffin.
No, really alive.
Okay.
A certain ex of yours had one.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, that's awkward, but okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this
along
little
with
variety of
the
creatures.
Fort Dullahan city flags. Like
Yeah,
there's-
it's much closer now. You can see it.
I'm doubting that there's going to be the second standard Inquisition flag flying next to it as well.
You don't see that now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As you get closer and closer into the city and start actually breaching into what appears to be like the town proper, it doesn't have a name. It's just the south gate of Alexandria. It's called Gate. People just call it the Gate. You see people out and about. They're hawking their wares. Some people have just live here. Like obviously, it's kind of like the main source of economy is like this is the kind of in between Alexandria and the outside world. And if there is any kind of trading between the kingdom and the outside world, this is where it happens.
That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
And so this is like where there's like people. There's a few people doing their official like carriages going in and out, and these are huge carriages. Like some of these things are like pulled by teams of horses like 6 big, and they're hauling these huge
Jesus
packages.
Christ.
Others are being carried in more, since this is a fantastical world, even bigger animals. Like your turtle is not the weirdest thing. You see what appears to be like a stegosaurus, like that is dragging like a gigantic, like huge double wide crate through the front gates as well. And occasionally the front gate is open for larger materials being sent in, but like Gareth would see like boxes of like what appears to be like just huge rods of iron and steel and like raw materials and stuff like that being imported. And being exported is like armor and weapons, and also like some smaller things like grain and books, and like there's everything you can imagine. This place has such a crazy developed economy. And this place also, like the buildings here are like 4 or 5 stories, maybe even bigger. And eventually you guys get more into the town square center. Everything's kind of dusty and dry here. Everyone kind of wears much more like more open clothing. It's a much hotter area. You're getting closer to the equator. So
I fit right in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are just wearing like crop tops, or they're wearing like turbans. They're wearing like stuff to keep sweat off of them. There's a very strong like Indian influence here as well.
Brookhilda is just absolutely dying under the big like.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Layer velvety dress, and she is not going to let anyone know.
I'm sorry for her loss. Good thing she has magic. Oh, Quill actually uses his magic to pretty himself up again and take away the iPad.
Aww.
Do I see any of my kind?
Not yet, I'm afraid. But not with a cursory glance around here. Do you actually in real life to Quill?
Just
a little bit.
Yeah.
She just kind of like her shoulders slump a little bit.
Brookhild's face kind of does it. Meh, thing like when your friend's trying on clothes and it doesn't fit them, but you don't want to tell them.
He puts his arms akimbo on his hips for a second. And then he waves his hand in front of his face and it goes away. And it's the scars and the eye patches back, and a little bit of salt and pepper just underneath his bottom lip.
I do the okay hand emoji.
He nods. He nods. Very well then, I suppose I'll be gone for an hour. Just find something to entertain yourselves with, and I will try to see what strings I can pull with the officer at the gate.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Just don't forget, I want to hear news of my friend again. It's been an honor playing with you this entire time.
Absolutely.
Make sure to find out when I come.
Okay. You guys have an hour. You guys have one thing that you can do in this hour, and we're gonna stop probably soon after this.
Okay. God, I'm trying to think, like, because I'm thinking about there was nothing that really stood out about the shanty town right now. I mean, there was no like.
You can go investigate closer. Nothing was like on fire or projected into the
Right,
sky.
right. Well,
but-
I'm saying like there's like you didn't like there's no like name shops or anything, right? Like there isn't like.
Oh, there's
or-
shops around
or
if you wanted to buy
interesting-
stuff,
or, like,
but
it's like interesting characters or like. Well, I was saying like I don't know.
you-
like I don't have a direction right now.
you could like that could be the thing that you do is explore around and see what you can see.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll let some other characters go first.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? This is kind of just a volunteer base. I can go turn by turn if someone's like.
I mean, I suppose I'm the most qualified person to secure an audience with a local noble, which is in fact part of my backstory.
Ooh. Then,
As with my noble background, I can secure an audience with a local noble whenever I need to. So I'm going
Sure.
to start by disguising my face.
All right.
Just to, nothing too fancy. Just like go from red hair to black and like.
Well, hold on a moment. Forgive me as the DM, but I can't help but feel like if you're going to leverage your I feel like your ability, like your nobleness and your noble ability to secure an
Right,
audience
it
is
is tied to
contingent on
my
your
name.
on your name and on your.
Yeah.
So I feel like disguising yourself would be like, who are you?
Right.
You're just.
I mean, I still have my scroll of pedigree and signet ring. That
that's
are like
true, but they are for Brukil of Arrowayne, and also for House Arrowayne.
yeah.
So you'd have to leverage your own name. But I mean,
So I have to.
Hey, is there
you don't see any Inquisition around yet.
well, not Inquisition, but any sort
Right,
of
but
wanted
I remember.
posters, bounty
Yeah, I remember
boards?
Mary.
Do you want to
bringing-
Well,
look
I
for that
was-
kind of stuff?
Well, I
don't
was
want that
gonna
to be
look
my
at
one
like.
action, just like cursory.
Nothing
Well-
here immediately in Town Square, no. If there is,
Well,
it's
I
probably
was-
secluded away.
I was actually going to look at like notice boards and like news.
Okay. How about we let Azrin do that?
Yeah, let's ask her to do
We'll
that.
start with Azrin. You can find a town crier immediately just calling out the news. That's kind of like the public way to get news, and they just talk about the disappearance of Allfield. That's kind of like their main thing
That's
right
actually
now.
Huh.
way more interesting than
Yeah.
a couple of ragtag.
Freak
What-
storms on horizon, and area becomes completely devoid of life, and arid seizes the climate region. And people talk about the disappearance of Allfield and how they don't know what's happening in Allfield. There's no word from the Flame Knights on what they're doing about that, unfortunately. They just have said that they have everything under control, and they are looking into what they can.
That sounds like a lie, but okay.
In terms of notice boards, no. Like notice boards around here are stuff like advertisements for jobs, like to work, like employment, as well as like news and things like organizations.
Posters.
If you want to look for wanted posters, you're gonna have to roll an investigation check. So in a way, that's
I'm looking.
That's
looking
good news
for-
for you because it's not publicly available information.
I'm looking for wanted posters, as well as like, performance posters.
Oh,
like
well, there's
any
plenty
performing.
of performances. Oh yeah, that stuff's public. This place has a very nice like.
I'm looking for a specific one.
Oh, I do see. Roll an investigation for me, please.
All right.
Because a lot of the advertisements that you're seeing are for like, hey, catch the show and stuff like that. Like this is a rockin' kind of roaring city. This place has entertainment. With a
12.
you do not
Interesting.
see your father's name or your troop's name.
Mm.
Interesting that.
What about
'cause
wanted posters?
You know that wanted posters would likely be more like in the constable's office more than they would be just like out on like you don't go to the town. You don't go to your local community college or something like that and see like FBI most wanted posters like on the bulletin board. Like you have to go to like the police office department to see stuff like that. So if you wanted to go to the constables, which you can, you could do that.
Oh, so there is a
Oh yeah, there's a
law
constable.
enforcement.
There's law enforcement. Absolutely. Yeah, this place is a real ass city. This is like Kirith all over. This is a Kirith like city, except Kirith's wealth is material wealth and embroidery and like arts and crafts, and this place's wealth is shipping and transportation. And that includes like couriers and mail services, and you can
Okay.
probably get smuggling.
I just assumed that this was a shanty or like a refugee town.
The Dole,
like a tent town.
well, there is a tent town on the far east side, but no one's explored it yet.
Okay, I thought that's where we were because we didn't get in.
No.
I didn't
Oh
think we
no,
got
you
in
guys
yet.
are in the
No,
main
there's,
square.
There's a double city. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's the city outside the gates and there's the camp that like the
A camp is formed on the east side like a grove. But
Okay,
you just
I
bypassed it.
assumed the place outside the gate was the
No.
camp, and
You
then
have a
the actual.
confused
Okay,
You're
my
good.
my apologies.
Don't worry about it. No big deal. You guys are in the main city proper. And no, there's no that. Yeah, it's a real city. There's a constable. If Azrin wants to go and visit, then that's up to her.
No, I don't think I need to.
All right. Did Gareth want to pop down to the shantytown as part of his thing? Because I mean, if you guys want to stick around for longer, you can. But it's only going to take one action from everybody before Quill comes back.
Yeah, okay.
In like an hour. So that's the only reason why I'm limiting
Valerie,
you now.
what are you gonna do?
You can do more after Quill comes back if you want.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything if you can't think of anything. This is just me being like, if you had anything to do, you could just be like, I'm just gonna wait till Quill gets back, and guess what? He'll come back all the sooner because there's one less thing for me to narrate.
Garrett's gonna check out the shantytown.
Sure. Gareth pops down to the shantytown. He walks out to the east
Are we
side.
He has his hood up. He's not wearing any Inquisition clothes because that shit got fucked. Well, at least he has his armor on, but he doesn't have the sash because that shit got burned.
It did. It got cooked
And
really
he
fucking
just
good.
he has a generic hood on.
Sure.
Are we letting him go alone?
I'll
I'm
walk
walking.
with them.
Unless anybody goes with him, I'm just gonna follow Gareth.
Valerie,
I'll just
please.
walk with them.
All right, Valerie and Gareth go down to the shantytown. They head down to the east side.
I mean, she did find out that Fort Delham was there, so she'd probably go.
Yeah.
Sure.
That makes sense to me. You walk through some odds and ends. As you get away from the central square, you get less of the bazaar sort of feeling and more of like actual quiet shops, like where people would go. You see like jewelry shops and like blacksmith shops, silversmith shop. It's mostly like artisans kind of stuff. Like there's clockmakers and stuff like that.
It's not or like artificers or anything.
You could probably find one. It's just you could probably find one if you want. If you wanted to look, that's something that's a bit more rare.
Well, I'm first gonna explore the shantytown first.
Yeah, one step at a time, I guess. You head through that though, and eventually you get to the point where that stuff kind of starts to die off, and it's now the outskirts of the east side, and that's where like there's a lot of older buildings that people are now living in that look like they've freshly moved in.
Right.
And where there's not enough space, there's been like tents put up, but it's nice tents. It looks like tents that have been like, it's not these aren't homeless people. Gareth can kind of recognize because he's known these people for a while. It's a lot of the people from Fort Dolahan. It's survivors, refugees, and they seem to be making a new life here. They've been here for over like a month, maybe 2 months now since and it's a lot of like people that Gareth would know. Like there's the baker, like that you used to buy pastries from every day, and he doesn't immediately recognize you because you've gone out of your way to change your. He's never seen you outside of your armor, and you are now outside of. You're in your armor still, but like you look different.
Like different armor,
Yeah,
different appearance. And
you have a hood up and
yeah.
everything, and they're not looking for you, and maybe they don't even care, even if they did see you. But yeah, you see a lot of the people, a lot of the former survivors of Fort Olhan, a lot of them actually. It seems like most of the casualties were actually Inquisition soldiers.
See.
It looks like the Dark-Eyed Prince's armies actually weren't just like slaughtering people in the streets. It looks like a lot of them got out. You don't know who's missing. You don't have a census report, but if you there's a lot of people here from Fort Dolahan. I am going to have you roll stealth, but I'll let you have advantage because you've gone out of your way to disguise yourself, and the situation is not dire. You're not being searched for.
Hey,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's not bad. 22. You blend in. It's pretty good. It could be better. Critical success. I mean, you can blend in amongst the people, spend as much time as you like. There's a lot of people here.
Just kind of like
you see the mayor.
Listen.
That's not true. You don't see the mayor. My bad.
I don't.
No, he's not here. You don't see him.
Good.
For reasons.
That might have been an issue.
No, but it's just it's a lot of people from Fort Dolahan that seem to kind of be eking out a new existence over here. Some people look like they're in transition from one life to another. Some people look like they're getting ready to pack up and leave. Some people are wounded. Some people have looks like they're recovering from some kind of injuries. It's only been 2 months, and not everyone is here. But like I said, you don't have a census report, so you don't know exactly.
Right.
But
I just want to kind of observe, listen.
Okay.
If I see anything of note.
Why don't you roll a perception check or an investigation check for me? Your choice.
You got it, boss. Perception.
We'll see. You can pick up. Okay, 12. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
That's not bad. You're listening around, and a lot of these people have started to kind of just move on with their lives. They're talking about day-to-day stuff and like the upcoming jobs and things like, oh, don't forget about this thing. We have a shipment coming in, and it seems like they're, like I said, this is not like a homeless shantytown. This isn't like post-depression 1920s. It's people that have moved here, and they're trying to now assimilate themselves into the society here at the gates of Alexandria. So it's a lot of people mostly just talking about day-to-day work stuff and jobs and like getting stuff off the ground. You over here like the bakery's like, oh, I want to open a new bakery again after the old mom and pop shop got decimated, but at least I got out alive. I took my recipes with me, and he taps his head. But a lot of these people are just mostly talking about their day-to-day activities. Is there some kind of specific thing you're trying to keep an eye out for? There's a few people who are like kind of talking about like, did you hear about what happened in Queen's Landing? They seem to be a lot luckier than we were. If only we had the Kaiser outside our port in order to keep our city still standing, that'd be great. There's a few people talking about that.
Rip.
Yeah, like there's some people are bitter that like my home was destroyed and loved ones were killed. Just it wasn't a total population kill.
Well, it's kind of hard for me to really look for certain people because there's no Inquisition force. Like I would know the baker, but I mean like I didn't really, other than pleasantries.
No, you don't see any with a 12 perception. You might be able to deduce that Otto went south, and he probably took everyone with him that he could.
Absolutely. Like that was my thought when I saw the flags. Right?
With a 12 perception, I think that you do see some people amongst who are like former guard watch, and there's 2 or 3 people who are Inquisition forces, but they are divorced from their context. It seems like maybe they kind of got caught up and they didn't get the memo.
Right.
And they have like their armor on because they're now like, well, I guess I'll be a guardsman, but maybe I'm trying to wait to hear back from command. I sent a letter and I'm waiting to receive word on what to do next. Or like they're just kind of like they're there like because they're like, well, someone has to go with these refugees to make sure they're okay, and they did, and now they're here, and they're like, well, I guess I succeeded. Now what do I do? And they're also maybe waiting for command. It's unlikely for Inquisition to just drop what they're doing and go AWOL.
I mean, three guys we can take. We can take 3 Inquisition guys. I'm not scared.
Right.
There might be more, but you don't see anybody.
Gareth, like just wanted to see like.
There's no Ruiz. Otto's not here.
I know. No. He was more of a simple peace of mind kind of thing, because everything seemed to be in so much chaos 2.5 months ago. But no, he was happy with that, and like he's gonna head back. If he sees any like artificers, like.
Sure, we'll get back to you on that one. Valerie, did you have anything else that you wanted to do while you were here as well?
While you're here with me.
Or did you have some other thing you wanted to do? I don't mind just teleporting you halfway across the city if there was something that you were looking for. There's this little fun one-off thing.
I think I was curious about the same things like Gareth was. So.
Well, that's fine. Hopefully you have your answers. If not, what character?
Gray, yeah. I want to ask you a character question.
Lay it on me, man. Well, hey, come on, let's do that out loud, man. We're all friends here.
Just because Gareth would know.
I see. You're like confirmation of.
Right. Is the Merchant's Inn in the inner city or the outer city?
Oh, they'd be in the inner. Well, what kind of merchant are you looking for? You're looking for someone to hawk.
No, the Merchant's Inn.
Can you repeat that? Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
The Merchant's Inn. It's the name of one of the taverns. Inns.
Oh. Outside the,
is that inner city or is that outer city?
That would be in Alexandria because I remember now. It's something to do with. Do you mind me saying the context just to make sure I'm checking it? You asked you sent a letter to Celica, an old friend of yours, and you told them you were going to Cape Solomon, and you asked that they would return a letter to Cape Solomon.
To the specific inn in Cape Solomon.
Yeah. How did you find out about that Merchant's End?
I kind of just pulled it, like.
Oh, I understand.
I was saying, like he had knowledge of this thing existing.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I mean, there's maps of Alexandria, and you can read it. I was just trying to make sure.
I just know because I snooped on Garrett's correspondence.
And Brookill knows because she snooped on me.
That's fine.
That would be in confirmation because Gareth would know.
Yeah, he would know that's in Cape Solomon. That's beyond the gates. You have to actually get to Cape Solomon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, like, the main thing that he's really worried or focused on is inner gates. So
Sure.
this is just passing the time for him.
Valerie and Gareth would pass by Petrol's delivery service here as well and stuff like that. There's like
Mhm.
plenty of places here. Brookfield, did you have any? You had your thing. You were thinking about.
Yeah.
I want to hit that, but it's up to you.
well-
You kind of have to rely on your background to do that.
Yeah. So, well, Quill wanted to know about the prince, and I suppose I'm the most qualified person to do anything noble snoopery related in this party.
Okay.
And so I guess she kind of feels like it's her responsibility. Well, not just her responsibility. I mean, she considers herself the most qualified person to do this. Is what I'm getting at. And
I understand.
so she takes it
It's her
upon herself
responsibility.
to yeah.
Or noble duty. Really.
And
You just gotta say the words. I use my background, but it's just that comes the
Yeah,
caveat
well,
of your
'cause- okay,
Brookfield
but
of Erwin.
I'm outside of the gates. The prince would obviously be inside.
Indeed.
Like,
But
are
maybe,
we waiting on Quill to be able to get in, or do you think
That's
I
up to
could-
you. There's definitely nobles who like the guy who owns like the shipping service here is on noble. Like you can find a noble of your stature out here at the gate in the gates. In the gate and the city of the
Right,
gate.
but I need to
of-
get in. I'm trying to get to the prince like as fast as possible.
Oh, I don't know if Brookfield's. I don't know if her background. You can acquire access to like a noble. I don't know if
Yeah,
you can
no.
instantly gain access to the prince. But that's up
But-
to you. Do you want to wait until you're inside to try and access a noble on the inside, or do you think like, oh well, maybe the guy who owns the local shipping might know a thing
Probably
or
the
two?
people who ship back and forth. Like, can I assume that the people who reside here and work on the shipping can actually get inside and out at their leisure?
Um.
Because
Yeah,
since that would be part of
probably.
the imports and exports, right?
I mean, nobles can do anything they fucking want usually. If
You're
they're
absolutely right.
So
Yeah, I'll snoop around. I'll see if I can find
you say the word.
some
You stand outside
Actually,
one of the gates.
before that. Do I know anyone here? This is a big town.
Well, roll a history check because that's more the minutia of
yeah.
her attentiveness as a
I
noble.
probably don't.
You know of people, but you don't know like anyone.
I don't know anyone personally.
People people might know Arrowayne, but like a specific Brookhill. But I mean, that's what your signet ring and your papers are for.
Yeah.
It's like I am Arrowayne, and it's like it doesn't matter which person of Arrowayne it
okay.
is. You are Arrowayne.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leverage. I'm going to leverage my backstory, and my excuse is going to be, because if anyone knows my family, they know there's a bunch of them that were in Fort Dullahan, and it's
Oh
like,
yes,
Fort Dullahan has fallen, and I'm trying to find my family. Like, I need to get in the city.
sure. You approach one of the
Because,
guards outside one of the shipping districts. There's a whole section of the northwest side that's just like storage and like warehouses, the equivalent of
And
for a
she,
medieval situation.
Before she does that, she wraps her cloak like around her face, like some sort of like veil, like from the
Sure.
sand, and she just like makes sure she looks a little more weathered than she normally would.
Yeah, you go on your little information search. Gareth, Brookfield's not doing this to try and get you guys in. She's doing it just to try and gather some information.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. I thought she was trying to get inside.
Yeah,
like,
don't worry
on her.
about it.
I was like, wait a second.
I mean,
weird.
I could get inside on my own, like if it doesn't cost me anything beyond being a noble, which doesn't cost me like that's my blood. I don't.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends. But you can approach a guard, and your assumptions will lead one way or the other. And
Yeah.
they'll be like, Miss, please, you have to get out of here. And then you kind of like you say who you are, and then you kind of flash your ring.
Like, I'm looking for my family, and fuck Dillahan, and the whole shebang, and she fake cries, and the whole
Sure.
jam.
I'm not gonna make you roll because once again, this is a background feature, and the signet ring is real, and so are the papers. So he looks at it and just goes, "Oh, right. Well, 1 second then." And he will turn around and go back inside to one of the buildings. And after a while of waiting, it's like 20 minutes. You have like an hour to kill, but eventually there's a small man that comes like kind of like plodding down the way, and it's a dwarf wearing a Da Vinci hat, like the cocked side.
Excellent.
And he's got big robes that match the color that like goes down to the ground with a fur trimming. And he's got a bunch of rings on his left hand. And,
He's wearing
like, all
fur
kinds
trimming in this weather. True dwarf.
He is a
Respect.
true fucking dwarf, and his beard is all braided. And he's got a very gaunt face for the most part, but it just seems like maybe he's recovering something. Who knows? But he comes out and he immediately just like holds out like a hand to you to kind of like give a quick shake,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and then he'll
She
open up his
almost, like-
arms and he'll hug
she-
you
Oh.
and kiss
do-
you
do
over
I know
each
him?
cheek.
Do I
And
know
he says,
him?
No, you do not know me, but I know House Arrowayne. And I know a friend when I see one.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been waiting for so. Is he speaking Dwarvish?
Oh yes.
Do I need to do the accent? Okay, I
No.
don't need to do the accent.
Do I
Good.
need to do the accent?
Well, she does the
Mhm.
she sounds fancy in dwarves. Oh, thank you. It's been so long. Ugh. I've been waiting forever.
Oh,
Forgive me.
worry not, my dear friend. You have come to a fine place indeed. Come, let us have some tea.
Oh, thank you so much.
He will lead you into the foyer and he'll
She-
clap his hands.
She's like fake, like wiping fake tears off of her fake makeup. 'Cause it's all just
It's all
magic nonsense and
fake.
faking.
And he'll lead you to one of these small tables by the window, and it's much cooler inside. Just by virtue
Oh,
of the
great.
shade, and a tiefling handmaiden will come over and pours you some tea. And he immediately he gets to business. He's a noble. He's got places to go, places to see.
Yeah, of course.
And he just goes,
I-
"Now,
I-
what
I
can
understand.
what can I help you with, my dear friend, my house Erwin?"
You know.
Oh, please, I'm
since-
sorry, my manners. I am Maxwell Tobias, of the Tobias family.
Oh, I could not have hoped for a better host. I am so grateful to you. Since for Dolahan, it's just been so chaotic, and
Oh, indeed, yes. Have you seen the fine town that's been forming outside? Refugees and other displaced. I hear.
I have, and I've been looking for my family everywhere. They have to be inside the city, please. I need.
Oof, oh, my Erwin, I will have to, rack my brain for a moment. No, they are not inside of the gates. They are, last I heard, your father, grandfather, great-grandfather, perhaps. The head of House Erwin was. I believe I saw him in port outside Queen's Landing just about a month and a half prior to now. I do believe he was bound for Tepel, Allstadt, I believe.
She sighed, like she exhales deeply, and her shoulders just droop, and she's.
Bound to reconvene with
that
family,
one is a lot.
I believe.
That one's a lot less fake than usual.
Oh,
but
wow,
nobody's here to see it.
He had quite the retinue in tow of family members. I think you are safe to assume that they are all right. Why are you not with them? Displaced amongst the chaos, I believe.
Why it was horrible. I was just out of town when it happened, and I just couldn't meet back up. It was. I barely remember. Such was the chaos and the fear.
I understand. I'm afraid your best point would probably be to head south to Orfield, and get yourself a boat out of the course there. Head your way to Allstadt across the. And
my most gracious host, have you not heard?
Tell me more. What have I missed?
Allfield was completely submerged by those
Oh my!
incredible sandstorms.
Oh,
There was nothing left. Desolation.
He looks down at his tea.
I had a delivery coming from there.
It
Well-
might be bound for New Haven if you want to send a letter.
New Haven. I'm afraid I'm not familiar. Tell me more.
Very small town, but now that Allfield is gone, I suppose there's no other stop between
Well, New Haven.
Queen's Landing.
Small stop or no, it's about to become quite the place for business. I will be making it so. I need my shipments. Oh, but my condolences to the people of Allfield, please. I do not want to come across as so cold-hearted, but...
Oh, of course, I understand. Don't worry about it. But it was certainly quite the journey here, and thank you. I was very worried for my family.
Oh, nothing, please. I wish I had more definitive information, but I can most assuredly confirm your grandfather's most fine, and I do believe his youngest and eldest as well. And their
And the
respective
closest-
others.
The closest port, then, will be Cape Solomon, yes?
Ooh, my. I suppose that would be so.
So we'll have to go through the gates. I hope we're not held up here too long.
Oh, my. I must warn you, this is quite the town for stopovers and layovers. Even I have trouble getting through every now and then, especially recently, what with the dear business in Queen's Landing. I'm sure you've heard then. They say a
Yes,
shipmaster has been assassinated.
Ben Affleck smoking dejectedly.png.
Yeah, that's Brew killed smoking.
She actually instinctively reaches and fiddles with the necklace around her neck. It's still like it's under her dress, like it's hidden, not
Sure.
like her just like regular necklace.
Know how I feel, bitch.
Rip troves.
But You mean to tell me that even the esteemed House Tobias has trouble getting in and out of these gates?
Indeed, which might just tell you to the difficulty of this extravagant defense, I suppose is what they're calling it. Oh, they are fine
Yes.
taking our charms and our wares, but our people, they say no to that. I've had half a mind to smuggle a young tiefling amongst the bottom of my carts, but I'm not that desperate yet. There's nothing I really need on the other side of the gates besides their money. And as long as that's coming, I carry not.
I understand. I'm just sorry. I have a lot of things on my mind, and it's such a relief to hear that everyone is apparently fine after this exhausting voyage that I've had. It's terrible. I've slept at the back of carriages.
Oof.
Ugh.
By the gods, by the Maker himself, I hope you have not had too unfortunate of a time. You look quite marvelous still, untouched by the dry sands and the cold winds that have been prowling the wilderness lately.
It's been horrible, really, but I suppose I've been quite lucky. Like she's actually like ridiculously fucked up, and she's just magicking everything away.
He'll be like, oh, quite the strange smell. I'll have forgive me, one of the waiters. I'll have to take care of that shortly.
Like, I mean, her. How long has it been since New Haven? Is my leg still in a cast?
No, it's been over like a week and a
Okay.
half.
I
You've
can walk now. Okay.
healed, yeah. You didn't break any bones. It was just you had superficial. You had like
Yeah.
your skin. You had cuts and wounds and slashes. Well, he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a long chain with a silver pocket watch on the end. He goes, I'm sorry, I'm afraid my time is growing quite short.
Of course, don't worry about it. Thank you so much, Mr. Tobias.
No problem indeed. If you're free to stay at the this open port of my mansion, I'll have one of my servants fetch you some form of gift bag before you leave. It is the least that I can do to get you back on.
Of course, thank you. Do you mind if I bring my handmaiden? I could just really go for some, TLC.
You may request of anything of my dear servant. She is quite
Thank you
able-bodied.
so much. Yes, of course. I would be remiss to ask anything more of you, most gracious host.
Simply
She,
do give my condolences and my appreciation and greetings to the rest of your family.
She gives a curtsy.
All right, he bows in return. Very well, mate. Brukil, you said your name was Brukil of Erwin.
Yes,
It has been my pleasure.
the pleasure was my own.
He departs. Within a few minutes, you are presented with a small luggage bag, and inside is a new set of clothes for an arid environment.
Oh, thank God. I'm gonna have to draw another fucking outfit. I hate you.
Sorry, tea, a whole box of tea, and a small like a teapot set.
Nice.
It's like mostly one or two, like for 2 servings essentially, like for you and your guest. As well as some like crumpets and like pastries and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's going.
As well as I'm sorry, as well as 20 gold pieces.
I will be adding the 20 gold pieces to my gold pieces. Do you think?
Oh, and a few business cards.
Do you
New
think
sugar daddy, let's go.
Shut up. Do you think the good Sir Tobias would like to exchange some gold pieces for some platinum pieces?
The servant would be more than happy to do that for you.
I'm going to exchange 200 gold for what is it? It's 1 to 10.
Yep. Apparently it's 1 to 10.
So
Platinum to gold.
200 gold for 20 platinum pieces. Is that
Yep.
correct?
And if you wanted to, there's actually there's one even above that, which is a mithril piece.
No, I'll
Sure.
take the plat. I'll take the plat.
You take the Oh, bump the
The
bump the
exchange has
microphone.
been.
Perfect. Azarine and Valor, are you good, Brooklyn? Actually, before I go.
Am I Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can get from here. So.
At this point, Cool would be done. He's going to be waiting in the town square. Azarine and Valerie, do you have anything else you wanted to do?
Nope. I'm just
What
gonna
I'm
sit.
probably looking for is inside the walls.
Likely,
Yep.
a lot of what you guys are probably
Yeah.
looking for are inside the
Yeah.
walls.
So, like, as soon as he sees Cole, he kind of approaches him and he's like, "Well, is
Quite the
good
success.
news,
Indeed, good news. I have found a way to get you into the center of the area.
Oh?
most indeed. I've found you safe passage. You're going to be going to the capital city of Pela, and from there you can depart via your own means to wherever it is you seek.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. I have been rejuvenated meeting such fine young people, and I am happy to have found there are still fun and wholesome things to be finding out in the wilderness as I rove. Friend, you speak as though you will be going off on your own again. And Miyamoto comes up behind him and wraps a hand around his neck, like an arm around his shoulder.
Grabs him by the neck and pins him to
He
the
picks
back
him
of
up.
the cab.
You will not be rid of me yet until I have my revenge bout. You beat me when we first met. But I still demand a rematch. And Quill kind of just, subtly smiles. And you guys see Ray, who is rebidding his turtle.
Oh, right, because Ray's gonna be gone. All right. Oh, this is departures, huh?
Was Rena taking us to Cape Solomon?
Ray kind of turns around and just goes, I think that this is the closest that I'm going to be getting you reasonably. And I don't think Mr. Quill here is going to be getting tickets for me and a giant turtle.
I go over and I place my last red ruby in his hand.
I'm almost a little emotional seeing you go.
Ah. Tell you what, kiddos, it's been fun. I'll be honest with you about that. You guys are a wily bunch. I don't think I would have made it out of half of those things without your help, so I guess I'm appreciative in that regard.
Please don't say things like that.
I know, I hate it. It feels like dirt in my mouth.
Feels like my
gives
ears too.
Valerie gives a slightly disrespectful curtsy and tips her hat to Ray.
Yeah, that's what I like.
With that. And Gareth reaches into his pack, and it's covered in his hand, but he just places something in the Yankee's hand.
He looks down at it.
And he opens it, and it's it's a carving, which now I have proficiency in it because
you
of
have
what we
proficiency
discovered.
With the fact that you now have proficiency, I'm not going to make you roll because that's what proficiency means. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a fucking turtle. Ray, you look at him and he just goes. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
And he puts it into his back pocket. And his hand just stays there, and he's clearly just holding it in his hand. In his pocket.
I give him the red ruby worth 50 gold. Well, you did it as requested, so here's the rest of payment.
He takes it, puts it in his hands, and he goes to bite on it, and he gives up and he puts it in his pocket. He knows it's genuine, even though that's not how you test rubies anyway. But he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that.
Tries to bend a fucking
Also,
wall.
I think the jig is up that I'm not a stone cold bitch.
No, I mean that was kind of obvious after the first month in, but you know what? It's fine. You helped me out of a tight spot, nice hot spot when we first met, and I appreciate you for that. He slaps you on the shoulder, just loud.
She jerks forward like ah.
Listen, you're still
Tiny
pretty
baby.
tough. And it's good, when you meet people like me, it's good to put up a fake front. Sometimes you need to be a little fake tough if that's what you gotta do to get through things. I don't know what you're gonna see on the other side of those gates, but I bet it's gonna be rough.
Of course, how'd you think I got this far?
Yeah, you're a terrifying fish person with really sharp teeth, is why.
She smiles.
Yeah, don't do that.
Sharp teeth and all.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Well, friends, I guess this is our departure indeed.
I pray we meet again.
I'm sure we will.
Big ol' hand to Miyamoto.
He takes it, and it's like that gif of like Full Metal Alchemist between Armstrong and what's his face?
Brutus.
There you go. And he shakes it and he holds it, and he just locks eyes with you, and he smiles, and his beard hairs lift up in response. And then he releases the
Shut
ground.
the fuck up.
Miyamoto, he shakes all of your hands in turn with a nice tight grip. Nothing too painful, but just a tight grip for everybody. And Quill will bow, and he kind of like does his very proper gentlemanly departure. And Ray
I
just
would
kind of
like
gives a
to
half
give
salute.
Quill a spare ace for dwarven poker.
He takes it, and then he lifts it up, and he examines it, he smiles, and he thanks you, and then he flicks his hand forward, and he has a whole bunch of cards already up his sleeve, and he adds it to the collection.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's nice to have a little bit of assurance sometimes, especially when you meet new friends. But
She
you beat
winks at him.
me anyway. Good on you.
You'll get better.
I'm
Have some
sure I will.
practice.
I'll be sure to be giving you a tougher time next time we meet. You are quite the honorable fighters, and if you ever need another sharpshooter, feel free to call on me. I will happily answer your aid. Ah, I as well. A great sword
We
is
will
mine.
remain on
give to
pen
you.
and paper. Also, Miyamoto, I will continue what
Yes.
you've taught me on my own practices.
Every day, and remember to find an authentic blade. The cheap stuff won't work.
I'll do my best.
Valerie, if you successfully find an actual authentic South Seas samurai blade, you will have a feat which will enable some weird fighting tactics, reminiscent of Aijutsu.
So I have to pay Miyamoto, and I only get a normal level up. But then
You had a whole ass level up. Shut your mouth.
He is
I have
just.
to pay for it.
This is just the result of hey, if you find an NPC that you are like really attached to and crazy, like this is great, and I really want to like make my character shape
enough,
more like
fair
them,
enough,
then I
fair
will do the
enough.
same thing for you.
Sure enough.
I
yeah,
actually
sure.
even remember when you were talking with the Morrigan, you're like, justice? That's kind of something similar could have happened there too, and might still can.
Azreen looks at the three and she's like, if you ever come across a troop, run by a Alaric Talori, tell him Azreen said hi and that you're friends of mine.
We will. We will be sure to do this. Oh, I almost completely forgot. Here. This is for each of you. And he rips a page out of his notebook for each of you. And it has a name on it. It has a full name and a profession. And just kind of like a quick bio of like someone.
Is this our fake identities?
Yes, this is your fake identities.
I mean,
Oh.
Brukel would like intrinsically understand since this is the kind of shit she does all the time. But...
Once you get to the other side of the gates, you're going to just go through to the nearest platform. Here are your tickets. And he hands you all tickets.
Garrett is immediately scrutinizing whatever my bio is. He's like,
Hey, Gareth,
like, yeah.
you're gonna tell me what your fake identity is next time we join.
Alright.
We get to make our own fake IDs!
Oh my god.
And Quill's like, now you must be quick. You're going to get to exchange your money as soon as you can, because that's the only way you're going to be able to take care of things. Not many people accept gold pieces. Get to the exchange as soon as you can, and you get to the first platform. You're going to need to get on quick.
Mr. Quill, I could kiss you.
No, please, no. I do not request such things. But just remember my request.
Yes.
Of course.
Of course.
We'll be sure to carry it out.
Miyamoto.
Yes, friend Gareth.
Let us meet again with our blaze
Kiss him.
crossed.
Kiss him.
I hope we meet again on the field of combat once more before we are to perish as heroes. I'm sure we will.
Until then, may the wind guide your back.
Farewell, friend.
And Gareth,
Brukel tries to pretend she's not on the verge of crying.
Miyamoto will turn to start walking out, and he has a sack on his back. You've given him some money that he's going to be able to buy his way through. And
I gave him a shit ton of money.
yeah,
so
he's exchanged it to platinum, and he just starts whistling some songs and singing under his breath as he kind of ventures out. Not under his breath at all, over his breath is probably a more apt descriptor. As he disappears.
Valerie yells his way as he's walking off. Next time we meet, I'll be a swordsman.
He turns around and points at you, and he smiles. And Quill's like, I have to go catch up with him, and I don't know where Ray's going, but I think he's already starting to navigate away. Ray's
He had to escape to cry.
Yeah, Ray is like he's got his face like up and buried into Bessie, and he's just hugging her. Don't look at me. You four should hurry. You have a train to catch.
Yes! And
Train?
we're going to go.
Yes, a train.
I've never been on a train before. I'm excited.
We should hurry. And we all go.
Go.
We all.
And we'll meet next time. You guys go towards the gates, and you present your tickets, and you talk to the right person that Quill's already talked to, and the poor Coles is lifted. And you four walk through. This is not the major parkour. This is one of the offside ones, more for personnel. And he looks at you, and you present them to the names, and he nods knowingly. This guard knows that this is Quill pulling a thing. And he says, he was a good friend to me, and I'm willing to help any friend of a friend. Get on. And the portcullis opens, and you all four walk into the blinding white light of the King of Alexandria. And we're going to pick up next time.
Hey!
Wonderful.
I don't like farewells.
Now I have
Ray-
to find a fucking katana.
Ray takes a nice big swig of something, looks up into the sky, and goes, "Yep, on to the next thing." And gets onto Bessie and yeah. And the turtle starts walking down the sandy roads of the South Gate. I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks for everybody who came. Love you all, and this is the official goodbye from the rest of the crew as well. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye!